Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4Player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 505. Jeez. It's May 25th, 2017. My name is Nick Henderson. To my right is Bradley Simons.
What's up, bitch?
Nolan Hedstrom.
How's it going, everybody?
And Christopher Guthridge.
Greetings.
We're happy to have all of you this evening. We are going to be talking about a lot of video games. We didn't have a podcast last week. In fact, we instead last week we had a nice, lovely session of D&D last week in its place.
Sweet D&D.
Sweet D&D, which is fun. It continues to be very fun.
I know. It's haunted
You're just
house.
saying that because you're some overpowered rogue, and it's bullshit.
Hey.
Is that how you feel about me? I had no idea you were having these feelings.
Sneak attack. Why can't I sneak attack?
This is very natural. Everybody always feels animosity and scorn for the party's rogue because the rogue's always the one doing the cool stuff and stealing all the treasure.
Hey, I'm fairly certain that I wanted to be the rogue.
I should probably be stealing some more treasure then, shouldn't I?
You should be stealing a lot.
Man, I really have been falling behind on the stealing of treasure. Anyways, we've got a lot to talk. We're going to talk about Injustice 2. We're going to talk about Prey. We're going to talk about Fire Emblem tonight, Brad.
You don't even know the name of it.
Shadows of
Moses.
It's called Fire Emblem Exodus.
Hey. At the very least, you'll be fucking educated tonight.
Fire Emblem Revelations.
I look forward to these podcasts because I always come out the other end educated.
Is it called Fire Emblem Revenge?
And an indie game Nolan's going to talk about.
And an indie game, Dead Cells, right?
There
I don't
you
even
go.
want to hear it. I'm going to walk out when you start talking about that game. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear it.
But why?
Before we get started, I want to remind everybody, one, we're on Discord, so if you are out there, I see a few people in chat who I have not seen in a while.
Come talk
I'm looking
to
at
us.
you. We have a Discord now. Please, you're welcome to join it. It's discord.gg/4player. It is a wonderful...
I just thought of something.
Oh, God.
Okay, sign up for our Discord now. There's a lot of cool shit happening.
There is.
When you say I haven't seen in a while, I know you didn't mean Wendigo. Because this motherfucker, he's like, "Hey guys, how's it going? All right, gotta go. See y'all around." I have this feeling that he follows like 100 different streams, and he just bounces between them. "Hey guys, how's it going? What's up?" They're like, "What's up, Wendigo?" "All right, man, gotta go. I'll be back later." And he hops into another stream and he does that.
He's just making the... He's got a list.
Tell me where your favorite, Wendigo. Tell me where your favorite right now.
I think he just has an oscillating internet connection. He can only stay connected for 6 minutes at a time.
Oh, no. Why did you bring a green thing?
Oh my God.
I didn't even think about it.
What is that? Why did you bring... You didn't think about it.
Oh my goodness! Nolan has a green. We use a green screen in this recording room, and Nolan has brought
like a ninja.
Has brought a green headband or whatever. Oh my goodness! This is
It's not a headband. It's an what would you call this?
It's for
it's a green screen toy. Is that the brand?
It's a
stretchy thing. Theralup. So I assume like a
therapy loop.
Well, it's like a therapy band thing.
It's for.
I hurt my shoulder, so I've been having to do some stretches.
Stretch. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, Nick.
That's quite all right. I just want to remind everybody, one, we have, as we announced a few weeks ago, we have started production on our top 10 games of all time videos, which are coming along nicely, and they'll be out soon. The first one will be out fairly soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, I think we're gonna kick off the episode as we always do by reading some feedback.
Eyes peeled. That's like some fucked up imagery. Where did that even come from?
Is that the first time you're actually stopping to think about it?
Yeah, it's the first time.
I think he's just thinking about it.
I think what it's referring to is when you open your eyes, your eyelids go back into your head, so it's like you're peeling them off your eyes.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
You're not actually like taking a knife and peeling your eyelids off of your face. That's fucked up.
Like one of those little cutie oranges.
Still sounds gross.
You just shove your thumb in, and then you just start peeling it back piece by piece.
Yeah.
Now Wendigo,
but your eye.
Now Wendigo can't go anywhere, or he's gonna feel like shit.
Dude, I always give every time Wendigo's in my chat. It's actually Wendingo.
I always thought it was Wendigo.
Well, it's Windingo. It's a play.
Anyway, every time Windingo's in my chat, I'm always like, hey, Windingo, how's it going? He's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, what the fuck, Windingo? Every time. He's like, well, it's late for me. And then sometimes I feel like I bully him into staying up because sometimes he will hang out.
I feel like Wendingo's got a lot to do. His time is very valuable, and I cherish every minute of it that he chooses to share with us.
You mean every minute?
Every minute.
Every 2 minutes at a time, yes.
Oh man, I feel like one day we're gonna be like, Windingo, you say it's late for you. Where do you live? And he's like, oh, I live in Texas. Like it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. What are you talking about? Anyways,
if you wrap that around your face and stand up in front of Batman, you can make it look like you're wearing the bat cowl.
Probably.
Oh my goodness, guys. All right, so we're gonna kick off the show as we always do. We're gonna read some feedback from our last episode, which was 2 weeks ago. If there's anything that you would like to, any opinions or thoughts you would like to chime in on, please leave us a comment on for this episode on 4playernetwork.com, and we will read them at the beginning of the next episode in a week. So our first bit of feedback comes from Cobra. He says, I think my favorite part of Prey, which we'll talk more about soon, is the amount of stuff you can freely jump on. There are so many areas that you can get to without having to acquire the key simply by figuring out how to jump over the obstacle. I had the most amazing experience yesterday playing Prey and doing that exact thing. Because not only was it like jumping over, it wasn't even jumping over a wall, it was using the foam gun in combination with jumping to like get up a wall that was probably like 100 feet high that allowed me to go over into like a warehouse that was blocked with like the unbreakable glass and the like really, really heavy, like there's like some heavy vending machine or something in front of the door, so I couldn't open it.
You don't got that leverage 3?
I have leverage 2 right now. I'm working up to 3.
You have been misspending your neuromods.
I remember thinking to myself, there's no way there's like actually something up there that will let me into this room, but I ended up using like a bunch of foam to get up to the top, and then I was in like the space above the crawl space above the room, and I was like 50 feet above the room, and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome.
I know you mean glue. I call it the foam gun too.
Oh,
glue. But let me ask you, what kind of foamer are you? Are you a?
I make stairs.
You make like plop, 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 or you just go? Do you make like a ramp, or do you make little jumping points?
I try to make a ramp, but sometimes I end up making jumping points. The thing is,
I make jumping points just because I'm a hoarder and I don't want to waste my ammo. Even though I have like 500.
I think it's designed to be shot as kind of like making a line or whatever.
It's supposed to be like a foam gun, but they didn't want to call it a foam gun because a different game has done that.
Yeah.
Better, in my opinion.
It was better in Shadow Complex.
Because you could stack it.
But still, it does some wonderful things in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Which are great. So Tobley says...
Tobley.
So this is in response to last time we talked about Mass Effect being put on indefinite hold. I like Mass Effect more than any other EA franchise by a large margin, but I understand the decision to set things on hold and reevaluate the future of the franchise. I just hope that it won't be gone as long as Dead Space or the like. Regarding the financial state of Square Enix, they announced that Final Fantasy 15 broke even in terms of development costs on day one, which might involve fudging the numbers from before it was actually called Final Fantasy 15, but it's still impressive. So it seems like Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy justified their role as key Square Enix franchises, and Hitman was unable to live up to that, because we talked about Iowa Interactive being sold off by Square Enix. Has there been an update on that?
Layoffs.
Yeah,
I know there's layoffs. I remember seeing the layoffs.
The thing for me on that is just Hitman, in my opinion, was much better than Final Fantasy 15. In my opinion, that's my opinion.
I agree.
Sure, and that's that's not much of a stretch. It's just they're obviously looking at it from a financial perspective.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying. How much
is
fucking
notorious.
Marketing did Final Fantasy 15 get?
Yeah, like I don't know how they could have covered development costs unless like Tobley says, like they were literally only counting from the development costs from the moment they changed the name to Final Fantasy 15 and maybe switched the switched up the development team.
And in my opinion, that money they covered development costs, not like advertising costs.
No, yeah, the advertising they spent on that game alone is ridiculous.
That game's been in development so long, you might have to calculate for inflation.
Yeah,
probably.
But also, like, you got to take into consideration the reason why that's impressive is because they're talking about on day one they covered those costs, which means it's probably safe to say it'll go on to cover the other costs as well.
Yeah,
because day one is a pretty impressive number. But Square Enix is notorious for having really ridiculous expectations expectations as far as, Tomb Raider's the big example, because that game was like they expected to sell like 7 million copies in the first month or something to be successful, and they sold 3 million, and they were like, oh.
Also, I think their expectations for like Resident Evil 7 were like lifetime like 10 million, and it's not even close to that.
Yeah.
So it's like they've successfully rebooted Resident Evil, and all they see is a disappointment, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. I hope that doesn't like really like swerve them off that path they set for Resident Evil. But anyways, Gonzo Lude says, sounds like the next Far Cry game will take notes from the movie Hell or High Water. If y'all haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it.
It's incredible. I love that movie.
I did hear really great things about it. I do want to see that. We're going to find out tomorrow.
Is that the one with Chris Pine and
yes.
Jeff Bridges?
Yeah. It's good. Real good.
And it's looking like, he made this comment before the reveal, or at least the confirmation from Ubisoft, which we'll talk about later, of the setting and all that. So he might be onto something here. So I guess we're going to find out tomorrow, because the reveal for Far Cry is tomorrow. Slardacity, he has the last bit of feedback tonight. It says, I honestly got kind of upset about the next this is crazy. I honestly got kind of upset about the next Assassin's Creed game having ship combat again. Unpopular opinion here, but I can't stand the ship combat and ended up dropping Black Flag because of it.
Oh, Slardacity, why?
Yeah, I know.
Strike his name from the record. This feedback does not exist. He's not...
How could you not enjoy just sailing on the open seas and all of a sudden your crew starts singing a shanty? Oh my God, that was amazing!
I think it was life. As someone who's loved Assassin's Creed for other reasons, like that still was like
you are not eligible to win a free game this month. You need to submit feedback next week to be eligible. We are striking this from the record.
He also goes on to say, also thank you, Nick, for reminding me that Dishonored 2 exists and that I need to play it, and Brad for reminding me of the new Fire Emblem as I echo your feelings on Awakening and Fates.
Get out of here. Get this guy
By the way, on the Assassin's Creed note, take this with a grain of salt. I obviously don't know.
You mean a grain of sand?
Mm-hmm. Grain of sand. What did I say? Salt?
A grain of sea salt?
Take this with a grain of whatever the fuck you want.
The phrase is grain of salt, but why would you think I would say grain of sand?
Because sand is coarse.
Oh, Egypt.
There you go,
Gotcha.
Nick.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you for piecing it together.
And it's rough. And it gets everywhere.
Rumor. This is also kind of building up. A lot of we have not yet had any confirmation about any of these rumors surrounding Assassin's Creed, but it turns out the rumor is actually that the ship combat may not actually be back, and you may just be able to ride boats.
Bullshit.
Whoa.
Just bring it back. I mean, or spin it off, man.
But when you think about
make it its own franchise.
It makes no sense. As long as there have been boats, there have been people fighting with and on boats.
Exactly.
I mean, it might take some form of it, but it's not going to be like naval combat in the same, like you're going to have giant
poking
cannons.
Your oars at other boats.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, like when you think about it, this is supposed to be like a back to the origins of this whole thing. So it's supposed to take place before, like, very, very long time before. We got to that point in Black Flag where we're having naval combat. So I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt, sand, whatever the fuck. We'll see what happens. So I'm sure we'll probably have confirmation of some of those details prior to E3. Anyways, like I said, thank you guys very much for your feedback. If you would like to chime in for next week's episode, just drop us a comment on 4playernetwork.com. I also forgot to mention this earlier. We recorded a spoiler cast, or an episode of 4Player Plus, if you will, for Horizon Zero Dawn. It's up on the site now at 4playernetwork.com. Check it out. We talked way longer than we planned about Horizon Zero Dawn because that game is dope as fuck.
I should
it's
play that.
Me, Jaeger, and George, and a community member, Kenton, joined us for it as well because none of these fuckers have played it yet. I know Krispy has.
I played a bunch, but I haven't finished.
You absolutely should make time for that before the end of the year.
Hook around back to it.
Is great. So I want to start, like I said, with some of whatever's the newest.
The newest would be
Brad.
Fire Emblem Echoes: Shadow of Valentia.
Yeah, I guess
because it came out last Friday.
That's not a real game.
Make it happen, Chris Davis.
Fire Emblem is a big series for Nintendo, Nick.
Yeah, they've been cranking them out lately, which is weird.
I mean, there's obviously the mobile one that came out like in January or whatever, but that doesn't count. That's a rubbish pile of trash, money grab. This is a real Fire Emblem game, and in some ways, even though it's very under the radar, like maybe maybe the most like ambitious one they've done in a while.
But is this not kind of in the same vein as like Awakening and Fates?
It's actually not. You know, this is a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden, which was a game from that never came out in the West.
I really like the
I was
world
about to
map.
say, I'd never heard of that. So yeah,
this game is very different from a lot of other Fire Emblem games, and one of them is because it's this remake of this kind of the black sheep of the series.
Wait, do you move through this entire game on the map like that?
No, oh, just fucking wait. Just fucking wait. Like, there's some stuff in this game that's unlike. So there is like kind of investigation. There is you can like straight up talk to people in towns. There's not even really towns in other Fire Emblem games. It's just battle to battle to battle. There's a lot of development of the world by just kind of talking to locals, talking to your party members in these towns, and you're gonna see some shit that you've never seen in a Fire Emblem game. This is the first Fire Emblem game that is fully voice acted.
Wow.
What?
Even these conversations I'm having with random villagers, fully voice acted. And this is the under the radar Fire Emblem game that no one's really talking about for the 3DS. Everyone's playing their Switch. Everyone, you know, Fates was a big deal last year. This is a weird remake, but it's surprisingly ambitious in a lot of ways, and it's a good sign for the future of the series. This game doesn't have all the waifu bullshit from Awakening and Fates. You can't get married, you can't have kids, but like, thank God, because it focuses. I mean, honestly, that shit was. I kind of liked it in Awakening. I was sick of it by the time I played.
It's one of those things they introduced. You're like, that's cool, but I don't want that in all my games.
Leaned into it in Fates, like hardcore, and it's like, okay, kids from the future. It sort of made sense in Awakening. It definitely didn't make sense in Fates. This doesn't have any of that, and I'm glad for it. But this also doesn't have other giant, like, Fire Emblem things. For example, the weapon triangle. It's not even in this game.
Wait, really?
There's no weapon triangle. Swords don't beat axes. Axes don't beat spears. So, like, it's completely different. Like magic and bow and arrows have a way bigger range. To cast magic, it uses hit points.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're literally sacrificing your own health to use magic?
Yes. Also,
But it's
check
like
this shit out.
powerful, I imagine.
Check this shit out. This ain't ever been in a Fire Emblem game before. There is, like, dungeon exploration.
Whoa.
Like,
Wait.
you run into like dudes, and it triggers small Fire Emblem
Brad,
battles.
what did Nick say earlier about being a little chill?
He's getting excited. He's getting excited. You look kind of like Lincoln's
getting riled
footage.
up.
But look at this. There's nothing in Fates, which was like 3 fucking games from last year, like, you know, mainline series, that is anything like this.
This is pretty weird.
Dude, this is crazy.
Shit.
And this is like a random battle with actually some
Is there
extra
any
units that
plans
spawned
to
in.
bring this to the Switch?
I have animations turned off, but I turn them on here. Well, I mean, last time we brought it up, no one was like, I don't know, maybe in the future, which is potentially true, but I mean, they've not said anything.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff getting ported to Switch right now, and this just seems like it might be a good fit for it.
No, it would definitely do well on the Switch. I mean, the Switch maybe could use any games.
But I mean, they did announce like a new Fire Emblem game for this, but I'm thinking it's going to be more modern Fire Emblem game with waifus and time traveling kids and that kind of stuff. But I mean, hopefully it has like full voice acting like this game does. Hopefully it has some of, you know, these like 3D dungeons. I mean, you get loot by like breaking like barrels and pots and shit with your sword in the 3D map. I mean, there's been nothing even close to like that in Fire Emblem before. But apparently, back on the, you know, the Famicom, like you would explore like a dungeon by moving around your sprite in real time.
So this, how similar was this on the Famicom?
I mean, obviously there was no like 3D in it, but you did move your little unit around a map in real time, while other Fire Emblem games are just, you know, turn-based, you know, grid battles. You know?
But that's kind of cool.
From one
this
chapter to the
idea of
next.
like combining like traditional like RPG dungeon exploration, and then suddenly like when you hit an enemy, instead of going into like a turn-based battle, you go into like what we now traditionally think of.
Yeah. The thing is, these are like typically smaller with like, you know, there's like very little like map design to these. And I'd say in general, like the weakest point I'd say is that you have
Variety of like
you don't have like great map design, because I feel like this game is more about, you know, kind of like, it's almost more of like an RPG in a sense, where it's more about kind of how you level up your characters. Not how you level them up, but like leveling up your character is more important to like, maybe tactical positioning, but at the same time, this game is very difficult, and you do have to really think about placement and stuff because, like I said, your mages are really powerful, but it takes their hit points, so you got to make sure enemies don't get to them.
How much hit points does the magic take, like percentage wise?
Well, I might have a very low level spell. It takes off very little right now, but as you get more powerful spells, it takes off more, and you can really get swarmed in this game too. So you got to be careful.
My question was: does every spell have a percentage or a number?
I don't know. I literally just started getting magic, so I only have one like magic attack spell.
Yeah.
And this is like a priest, but it's there. Even though this is like this small under the radar game, like presentation elements wise, this is like super impressive for a 3DS game, kind of a dead system, and like not only does it have voice acting, the voice acting is good.
Is the story that it's telling good?
Well, so again, I'm not super far, but because you can talk to like there's like towns and you can talk to people and not just that, but you can talk to your party members in like dungeons and in towns because they're just standing around. It kind of transitions to that like Phoenix Wright looking screen.
Yeah.
So in like Awakening and Fates, you build your supports up and you start to have conversations with your teammates, but it's almost like just building that relationship between your main character and that character you're talking to, and it becomes kind of like there's like a gimmick, like this person wants to learn how to cook, but she really sucks, and that relationship develops, and eventually you fucking marry her. But in this one, because you can talk to people like between battles and towns in your own teammates, I feel like they're building on the story, the main story, and the relationships don't feel like completely separate from everything that's happening in the main story. Does that make sense? Yeah. Instead of just doing your one little relationship and not having them around for like main stories. Like imagine if Persona, your characters in your party only really interacted with you in your social links.
Yeah.
And they weren't in like main story sequences. That's kind of what like most Fire Emblem games feel like after you recruit a new character.
Yeah.
There's like usually like a main set of characters who are really involved in the main story, but not so much some of the other characters you recruit. But this seems to be going a long ways to like kind of improve that as well, which I find kind of refreshing. Overall, I've been kind of impressed. I'm a little worried about map design. It is hard. I think I will have to grind in a way I maybe never had to grind in a Fire Emblem game before. That's probably rooted in its old design. But it's such a refreshing twist on a Fire Emblem game. Like I didn't finish Fates. I didn't finish Birthright. I really kind of burnt out on it. But this seems like an all new game, and I'm really
Did you finish
quite enjoying it. Did I finish any of what?
Like Awakening or
Oh no! I mean, I've finished Fire Emblem 7, 8, 9, Awakening. I played some of 11, some of 6. I played quite a bit of Fire Emblem games. Yeah,
this honestly looks fucking dope.
It's dope.
It looks way more interesting than the last two.
This looks really cool. This looks like something a little more engaging for me than previous Fire Emblems had been, which I really liked. The only Fire Emblems I've really gotten into were like the newer ones. So like I played a shit ton of Awakening, and I liked that one.
Yeah.
But this like added kind of like more social aspect, like the exploration gameplay, the like town stuff, like fleshing it out, making it more RPG. Yeah, it's kind of the stuff
I felt was missing. And I only played Awakening.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Awakening is still really good, and a lot of people like Fates. I just like how different this feels. Yeah. And supports are still in this game. It's just like old school Fire Emblem. They happen on the battlefield, like what's happening now.
Yeah.
But it's good, and I can't wait to play more of it. And I'm just happy to put it on people's radar, because it seems like a lot of people are just kind of ignoring this one.
I mean,
and they really should.
I made a lot of assumptions about what this game was when I saw it on the dock. I'm sorry, I did.
Do they still do leveling up the same way?
Yeah, leveling up the same way. So you get level ups where you just get completely fucked. But
someone in chat said something about bonus experience. You know what they're talking about?
Oh yeah, where after a battle everybody gets experience just across the board if they're alive. I am playing on non-permadeath mode, but they also introduced a new thing where even if you do play on permadeath mode, you can kind of like roll back turns.
Yeah.
And you can use it like so many times per battle. so you could still have like the threat of permadeath, but be able to rewind.
Right, and not have to just fucking
And not have to just completely start the battle over again, which is another really smart addition. I don't know if the original Fire Emblem Gaiden had that one, but it's like a really smart idea. I'm playing on hard though, so it's a real kind of a kick in the nuts. But it's good.
I want to play this, and I don't know.
You know what? I would be curious to play this too. I'm gonna hold out and see what.
But see, you've never played. I would actually probably recommend Awakening to you first before this.
I mean, I've played about 7 or 8 hours.
Oh, that's
of
right.
Awakening.
That's right. This one's kind of brutal.
I mean, I'm kind of curious just to see what Nintendo does at E3 because I'm wondering if they're going to announce like a whole slew of Switch ports. Of this kind of
that
stuff.
would be
and I do want something right now to play on my Switch. So
there's stuff for the Switch.
Oh no, I know there's stuff, but you know, a lot of that stuff is not necessarily my cup of tea. And I am curious to play this. I do have my 3DS still, so I could play this on 3DS, but I would hate to buy it on 3DS and then see like them announce a Switch port at E3 or something, which could happen. I have a feeling that's gonna be a lot of the announcements we're gonna see from Nintendo at E3 are gonna be like all these games that were originally for 3DS or whatever are coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
That's just an early E3 prediction from me.
I will say I'm a little bummed that I only get to this part in the footage where with like the random encounters, the story battles do have more elaborate maps than this. Yeah. It's just I got stuck in this cave where I kept
it's because you're playing on hard
fighting dudes.
Cool. Well, thanks for putting it on my radar. Thanks for putting another game on my radar, you son of a bitch.
This bitch. By the way, their storyline is like this chick just doesn't like her. And she just can't get over the fact that this chick just doesn't like her.
Pretty sure it's pronounced as Silk.
And she has no real reason not to like her. It's just, I mean, yeah, we've all been there, right?
Right.
Where like somebody just doesn't like you, and you're like, I don't understand why they don't like me. And it's like you just can't let it go.
Did I never tell you about when I lived in the dorms at UT? And there was this one guy I would see all the time. I don't think I ever talked to him, but I fucking hated this guy. And I can't tell you why. And like I would have conversations with Brennan about him, but just like something. But see, when I see this guy, I fucking hate him.
I'm talking about from the other perspective of like, why does this guy hate me? But they can't just let it go. You have to know why they hate you, and then they start trying to make you like them, but they just don't like you.
I wonder if that guy still like loses sleep at night, wondering why no one didn't like him.
Yeah. I was talking to my roommate about something like that the other night. He has that for Thomas Middleditch.
Oh, nice.
From Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
He just like can't stand his face.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel like it happens a lot with celebrities.
Just
like
wants
people
to physically
just, like,
hurt him.
Yeah. Whatever reason, like hates celebrities. They have no idea why. They just hate them.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit. Krispy, Brad, y'all both been playing a game I know you've been wanting to talk about.
We both played through the whole story of this.
Fuck.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't play through the whole story.
Oh no, I did.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And it's pretty meaty. Like that, I think the story takes like 5 hours.
There's a lot.
Of course, we're talking about Injustice 2.
Injustice 2. Yeah.
Been hearing some good stuff.
Pretty competent follow-up to Injustice Gods Among Us, which I was a fan of.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, really? You like that game?
I did enjoy that game. You know, I don't really come at this from a fighting game perspective.
I will say this: I have always enjoyed Nether Realms. Like all of the, what was the first Mortal Kombat Nether Realms did? Like where like
when they were Nether Realms, it was Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah, no, before that, I think it was 9.
It was Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was just Mortal.
Which was
Kombat.
technically Mortal Kombat 8, but they just didn't put the 8 on it.
Or 9.
9. It was.
People call it
MK9.
Mortal Kombat 9 now.
Oh, okay. Well, ever since Mortal Kombat 9, I've really enjoyed what they've done with that. So it's kind of a.
Yeah, it's another one of those, but like they're really kind of stepping up their presentation elements. Like that story mode is cool.
The story mode is fucking great.
Well, hold on.
Beefy roster,
I don't know too much about the story mode. What makes it so great?
So, if you've never played any of the NetherRealm fighting games,
Post Mortal Kombat 9, yeah.
Post Mortal Kombat 9, their whole shtick has basically been like creating well fleshed out story modes for their fighting games, which is crazy because fighting games never have awesome story modes.
I have Mortal Kombat 10 sitting on my shelf, and I have not played any of the story mode in that game.
I-
And I'm wondering if I should bust that out and
finish
try
that,
it.
but I started
think
playing
you
it.
should play. I think this because Mortal Kombat, like it's all story's done really well in those games too. But
It
it's
is.
still like Mortal Kombat
But
characters,
it's
and if you
Mortal
don't have an
Kombat.
attachment to Mortal Kombat characters, like I think this might be better because like
Probably.
you know a lot
I
of
mean,
these
don't get me
characters.
wrong. I
They're in
love
movies and shit.
I love stupid, goofy, stupid stories and like wacky, crazy characters too. Mortal Kombat's a little tough for me to swallow sometimes.
But it's still fun.
But
like
it
that
is
Street Fighter
fun,
one
and
sucked
it's
ass.
really
I mean,
well done.
I'm addicted to their Mortal Kombat games because of the
Yeah.
Crypt. I love the Crypt.
Well, the Crypt was really cool.
Is there anything like that?
Oh.
in Justice?
They have something completely different than that
Yeah.
here.
Not a crib, but
Yeah, it's what they call it here is the multiverse. So they're playing off a trope that is very widely used in DC Comics, this idea of the infinite Earths, the multiverse, that there are just infinite numbers of parallel worlds where all the heroes like all the heroes are there, but they're all completely different. Like maybe on this planet they're all blue, or on this planet all the guys are girls and all the girls are guys. You know, like yeah, they just flip the script on every one of these.
Could you imagine if
Elseworlds
Superman
or
was a
whatever.
super girl?
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I bet
There's
she'd be-
it's like Earth 15 or something like that, where it's the gender swap world. It's weird.
Ooh, who's like the hot? Who are the hot?
Dude,
Definitely Green
Aren't they all
Lantern.
probably hot?
dude.
Is there one where they're all
Oh,
women?
could you imagine a Flash?
That's the one I want.
No, it's a gender swapped world.
No.
Oh,
I
it's just
want-
only women.
Brad's
all
like, you
the
don't
guys turn to
understand.
women, and the women stay women. That's the one I want.
No, I don't know about that one, but it is a multiverse with infinite Earths.
So that
it has
is-
to
that-
exist.
yeah, it has to exist.
There has to be an infinite number of them.
There has to, per that theory, there has to be an Earth where every man is a woman except Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then there's another
Oh,
one.
and Black Adam. I don't think I want a female Black Adam.
Oh, okay. That's.
I don't know where you're coming
Can
from
we
on that one.
unpack that for a second? Why?
Hey, look at
Why
this
Black
guy.
Adam?
He just seems like he'd be a really ugly lady.
You never know until you try it.
What?
But yeah, so they do in the multiverse mode there will be like 5 or 6 different worlds that they all are on a timer. They all expire, new ones come up, and they all have different like storylines to them, and you're fighting different tiers of like battles to earn rewards basically.
Yeah.
It's not super deep story content, but it is a really nice way to like shake things up because they all have different rules,
Sure.
missions, modifiers, things like that.
Yeah. That's
Plus-
where you're getting into your crazier. Like we saw
It's-
earlier how they were picking up hearts.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they were spawning on the battlefield.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. The modifier for this one is I don't remember what it's called, but they just throw like health out on the battlefield. I was playing one while I was recording this footage that I didn't end up using because it was terrible. But where like there's just meteors falling the whole time. There's one where you're hunting a vigilante archer on like Earth 2736 or something like that, and you have Arsenal helping you out. So anytime you have this little meter, and anytime the meter fills up, you can flick the right stick in any direction, and a bunch of exploding arrows will fly down at your opponent. Like,
Nice.
so
It's
you-
cool.
yeah.
They don't have any of like the platformy stuff, right? Like they had in the first Injustice.
No, they don't. They don't have like the mini game stuff.
That's good
Not
because that
I've
stuff
seen.
sucked. I hated that stuff.
I
It was
don't-
novel at first, but then it got hard, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, it was a cool idea. I would have liked to see that expand a little bit more.
Or yeah,
but,
improved.
Yeah, improve, like kind of work it out. But what they have here is really fun.
Yeah.
Um,
What about the loot? We got to talk about the loot.
Wait,
He asked
y'all
about.
didn't finish
the
talking about
loot-
the story.
Oh,
Like,
the story.
What exactly about the story is so...
so
Oh,
well,
it's
I
the
mean,
presentation.
yeah, it's just the way that the story mode goes. So unlike a lot of single player campaigns where you'll pick a character and then that character has their own storyline, you basically fight like 12 matches and then they give you some sort of resolution to that story, right?
Yeah.
That is not at all how this works. How this works is there is a set storyline and there are chapters, and every chapter you're playing specific characters. So it's like chapter 1's Batman.
It's
and
fucking
you
cool.
do-
It'll be like chapter 1.
Yeah, you do.
Batman. Like,
Yeah,
and then the way the
he'll-
UI looks is cool too.
and the story will pass off to somebody else, and then you'll follow somebody else and do like 3 or 4 more fights.
So there's like a
that.
bunch of cutscenes that kind of set up the fights.
It's not just that. Like you're watching a movie,
It is a
and it
movie,
so
yeah.
seamlessly just moves into combat.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
that's
no
cool.
there's no break, there's no like mission like screens or anything like that. It is a full like movie, and it's long. And then there's like fights that you just get into throughout the way. Now, of course, justifying all of these different scuffles and fights that crop up, you know, the story sometimes gets a little contrived. Like Green Lantern shows up during the Flash's chapter, and then they're immediately just like, fuck you, dude, and they start fighting, and then they're like, whoa, I didn't come here to fight, let's be friends, and then the story like continues.
Oh, okay.
You know, like shit like that.
But you also got to understand that there are like moments where it's just like 15-20 minutes at a time you're just watching. And like it'll like even change scenes, and you're just watching a story.
The story's good.
That right there just made me want to go buy this game.
Dude, the story
you would like this.
The story's good, and if you haven't played the story mode from the first one, it's totally worth it. The whole Injustice world is all based around what happens in the first game, where in the very beginning of the first game, the Joker detonates a nuclear explosion in the center of Metropolis. He kills Lois Lane and like thousands of people, and Superman just loses it. Superman is no longer cool with it, and he executes the Joker, and then he starts a regime where he takes over the world, and he installs superheroes as like the rulers and protectors of the world, but it's like a super fascist regime. So Batman and a bunch of heroes go underground, and they form a resistance. And the first game is all about this like Civil War story, but it's taking place on an alternate world. So unlike, you know, Marvel Civil War, they just start doing crazy shit in this other one. They're like killing people left and right. Like
it's insane.
People who are good guys in that universe turn to evil. People who are bad guys in that universe turn good. So like Harley Quinn's a hero in this one.
If you hate Superman, this is a good game. If Superman is a trash man, is awful.
Is Green Arrow in this game?
Green Arrow is in this game.
Yeah.
Green Arrow and Black Canary.
Because Chai Tai says in the first game, Green Arrow was voiced by Stephen Amell, which is the guy who plays him on.
In the first game, there was an Arrow skin for for Green Arrow. That if you had that skin on, his voices were all Stephen Amell.
But it's not Stephen Amell.
But normally it's Alan Tudyk.
Oh.
From Rogue One.
Can I ask you an off-topic question?
Yeah.
Why is Reverse Flash's name so weird? Is it like something backwards?
Tell me this game
Eobard
is...
Thawne?
Yeah, what is that
his
name?
name?
That's just his name. They just named him that because he's from like the
future.
27th century.
Yeah.
So they
just a
wanted
weird
something
name.
that sounds like futury and weird.
It sounds like something
I
backwards.
will order this game right now.
I thought you were talking about Reverse Flash. Like why is that?
Can we talk about the loot system?
I was like, that's not...
The loot system is the biggest, most impressive new addition to this game, in my opinion. It's fucking great. So, you know how in a lot of fighting games, especially nowadays in the age of DLC, costumes and like different shaders are a big thing for fighting game characters?
Yep.
So instead of doing that, they just added an entire fucking equipment and loot system. So every character has like 6 slots. They have like head, chest, arms, legs, and then like an accessory or a weapon, right? Mm-hmm. And then as you play, you unlock, you earn mother boxes, which are loot boxes. You open those up and you unlock different equipment for the different characters. But the equipment, like, it's a very vast set of like different kinds of equipment you can unlock. They all look different. They all add stats.
Instead of like unlocking different outfits, you unlock like pieces of outfits, and like the shit actually work. Like, it looks cool. Like I started to get different pieces for like Harley Quinn, and now my Harley Quinn looks completely different, but it still looks like Harley Quinn.
They're all centered around the concept of the character, but there's an amazing amount of like character design depth in those of like how much different they can change the way people look. And what's really cool about playing the multiverse matches is they totally lean into that. So you'll go to a world where like everything will be really fucking weird, and like Harley Quinn will be dressed in like green and black or something like that. You know, like they use that to kind of make it look like, you know, all the infinite possible variations.
She has her
of different characters.
Animated series outfit in there too.
Oh yeah, she's got a bunch of them.
Nice.
She's got a bunch. There's a shit ton.
Did they put the Suicide Squad version?
Hold on,
in
you
there?
mean her original costume, Brad?
Her normal costume kind of looks like the Suicide Squad version, but better. It's less of like, you know, trashy meth gangster.
It doesn't,
Hot
say,
topic.
it
more,
doesn't say Daddy's. What is it?
No,
Daddy's
Daddy's
Little
monster.
Monster.
No,
I don't
Daddy's
like
Little
her.
Monster.
her jacket now has the bat symbol on the back with her like Harley Quinn diamonds in the center.
I
She's
wish,
working for Batman.
I wish she just looked like Margot Robbie.
Yes, I did just order this game
It's pretty
as
cool,
we
man.
speak.
Yeah, I mean it's a very fun.
One of my favorite parts
that
about
is
this
very
game
cool.
is that Brainiac is the fucking villain, and Brainiac is the best, and Brainiac is played by Jeffrey Combs, who is also the best, and it's so good, and it's just fucking delicious, like Brainiac threatening. It's so good.
So what's up with Brainiac?
It's so good. So Brainiac is like Ultron from the Avengers, but like
I knew it.
way cooler.
That's what I was saying. This guy's so Ultron.
I'm gonna be honest. I only know Brainiac from Smallville,
he's like
but he was pretty
Ultron,
cool
but
there.
he's like Ultron, but he's like up to fucking 11. I mean, a lot of times nowadays he's presented as kind of like a quasi Borg sort of threat, like but. Ultron's one of those things, like, whenever you need, like, an Earth-threatening event that, like, all the heroes can rally behind and attack.
Always
like,
Ultron.
Like they go with Brainiac.
Or Brainiac,
because, like,
rather,
he's fucking crazy badass.
Are you fighting?
He looks so lame,
Is this level that we're fighting in? Is this what
It's
is it?
Slaughter Swamp.
Oh, okay.
Swamp Thing is in this game.
Yeah, Swamp Thing's in this game. Swamp Thing was Alan Moore creator.
I'm really disappointed that Swamp Thing didn't interact with Poison Ivy at all during the story.
Oh, yeah. That
what
was
was
kind of
the
a missed
fucking
opportunity. Yeah. I don't know.
Dude, this whole game
Especially
looks.
since
Oh, by the
they're
way,
both
why is
so-
Brainiac's ship just a giant Garrus head?
It did look like
It's not,
Garrus.
well, it's Brainiac ships always look like a giant skull with like a brain coming out of the tentacles.
Garrus.
They kind of played down the brain aspect. Normally, it's a giant fucking brain with a skull face on it, and it doesn't look quite so Turian.
So how is the fighting?
The fighting's good.
I
man.
feel like I should have asked that
There's-
question before I ordered it, but
No, I mean it's
So there's a lot of
good.
interesting gimmicks in this game. I feel like a lot of characters play into their character very well mechanically. Like, for instance, in the footage that I'm playing here, I'm playing as Captain Cold. So like all of his stuff revolves around him using his cold gun. So he's really good at range. He's got a lot of really good like freezing spells. But instead of just basically being
a
a
Sub-Zero
Sub-Zero clone, they handle it completely differently because his so circle for every character is like some special power that they can activate, or sometimes it's like a projectile weapon. For Captain Cold, it lets him upgrade the cyclotron on his gun. So if he's at level 1, it unlocks a special ability that he can do that gives him ice armor.
Yeah.
If he can upgrade it to level 2, he shoots a grenade that generates this giant cold field that anybody stuck in it starts to slow down and freeze eventually. And then if he can get it all the way up to level 3 and use the ability, it just does like a freeze wave that instantly like freezes people.
Please tell me there's like
fighting the AI of Captain Cold is so ridiculous because he's just there sitting there fucking with his
he's
gun. You're like, what is this guy even
like
doing?
even in the footage you've probably seen, I kind of fucked up a few times where like I'll be punching somebody, punch, and then I'll just look at my gun for a second and then like keep punching.
Please tell me there's like a skin for Captain Cold that's like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze.
No, there is a Mr.
Freeze
Freeze. There is a
skin
Mr.
for
Freeze
him.
skin,
But Mr.
for-
Freeze himself is not in the game?
No, well, he might be DLC.
If you switch to Mr. Freeze, like it's a completely different set of dialogue. It's a different voice for him. So it basically changed. There's a few characters where they have unlockable skins that change them into other similar characters. Captain Cold is one. He turns into Mr. Freeze. You can get a Power Girl skin for Supergirl. Who else? There was
Ooh, which Power
That
Girl
roster
skin?
looks really good.
I'm
sorry? I mean, I couldn't see them all at first, but like
I need
when
cool,
it-
more cool
roster-
ladies though.
This roster is great. The one concern I had, and Brad and I talked to us about the show, and he has an excellent point, is that it is like 75% dudes.
Yeah.
Like there aren't as many like cool
which is weird because there's a lot of great female characters.
I would have
in
liked to
DC.
see Batgirl come back, and I would have liked to see her come back with like a design kind of more inspired by the current like new Batgirl, the new 52 one.
Why not Wheelchair Girl?
Oh, what the fuck, Brad?
Oracle?
Oracle, yeah. Have her in the wheelchair.
Wheelchair
Oh, damn.
Girl. I can't believe
I don't know their names.
That
You see
Power
one with
Girl from
Wheelchair
Injustice,
Girl?
too.
Yeah, she's got a crazy boob window.
Wow.
Wait, boot
Nick, you
window.
ordered a good game. You don't know what
But-
Power Girl looks like?
Does she look anything like Supergirl?
Is
Squirrel Girl in this?
She has blonde
Starfire's
hair.
coming.
Squirrel Girl's Marvel.
That's
Oh yeah, you're right.
There's always like cool DLC guest characters
this
as
is-
well. Like one of those overpowered characters in Mortal Kombat X is a Xenomorph.
Really?
Yeah, a Xenomorph
Oh,
is
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the DLC characters, and apparently he's
But he
like
looks
really
like he
overpowered.
plays just like Baraka because he's got
No.
like
Yeah.
a fucking arm.
Barack
No,
Obama?
I've heard that comparison before. I haven't actually played as the alien in Mortal Kombat, but I did hear that exact comparison.
But they got like Leatherface and stuff.
They're
So
gonna
hopefully
put
there's
like
some cool characters.
they're probably
coming
gonna
to
put
this game.
3 more DC characters in, and then put in Sub-Zero, which I mean,
Yeah, Sub-Zero is
whatever.
confirmed. Do
Like,
you
that's
think they're
fucked
gonna like? Oh, and Black Manta is confirmed.
Oh, is Black Manta one of them?
Mm-hmm.
That could be cool.
So just out of
actually.
curiosity, just kind of because like the thing that kind of prompted me to really get interested is when you were talking about the story.
Yeah,
You said it's long. How long are we talking here?
5
to go?
hours about.
yeah, I
And like a
finished
lot
it.
of that's watching a movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Like that seamlessly flows in and out of fights and stuff.
oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
fucking
and it's good.
cool.
If you haven't done the first one, you should totally do it to set up for this one too.
Yeah.
It's too
Because
late.
because the first one
No,
was
you
great.
probably have it for free from PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, it's
Probably,
It was
yeah.
the Ultimate
You
Edition
don't
was a
download it.
PlayStation Plus game. Came with all the.
Yeah, it was
I
free.
may have
characters and everything.
downloaded it. I can't.
Yeah, but the first one's great. They ran like a 3 or 4 year comic series based on Injustice and kept it running because it got such a great fan response because it's really really good.
Cool.
And
Cool,
and
cool,
some
cool,
of that actually carries over into Injustice 2 as well. So I mean, it's surprising. This isn't a DC story I expected to really like give that much of a shit about, but they fucking did a really good job.
And that's-
I think it kind
That
of
means a lot. That's good.
yeah, I think it kind of wraps up a little hastily at the end of this one, and this one is much more.
They
like,
need more Flash.
They definitely need more Flash.
No, not
but
a
it
lot
was
of Flash.
much more like, oh, there's a global panic, everyone. Oh, we gotta kill Brainiac, and less of the like kind of more character driven story of the first game.
Yeah.
But this one's really great.
Cool. Well, I'll have it on Sunday,
Yeah,
so I'll play a little bit before the next show, probably.
man.
That's cool.
Maybe we'll spar before next podcast.
Fuck yeah. Maybe we'll do that. I'd love to do that. That'd be cool. Well, all right. Injustice 2. I, of course. Well, actually, no. We'll save this one because we've talked about this already. Nolan,
What up, Nick?
let's hear about Dead Cells.
What's up, Brad?
Let's hear about your unfinished game.
Is this an early access game?
It is early
You
access.
son of a bitch.
I'm patiently waiting.
I'm not going to play the shit out of this game. I just wanted to check it out and see how it is and see if it's worth picking up when it comes out. And the answer is yes, it is.
Of course, it looks sick as hell.
So the easiest way to describe this game is Rogue Legacy.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
but like fucking dope looking.
But yeah, more like
got a great
Castlevania.
style.
Like,
Oh,
no,
wow.
it does. It does.
Holy shit. This game looks gorgeous.
No, it is. So similar to Rogue Legacy, you spend, in Rogue Legacy, you spent money on upgrades, but in this, you spend cells or like souls from Dark Souls.
But is this a roguelike?
Yes, it is. So when you die, you like lose everything on you, and you have to start almost like Rogue Legacy. You have to start the castle over, and it's randomly generated. So you similar to Rogue Legacy, you're entering in the same point, but everything changes, and now you have new abilities that let you go places you maybe couldn't go before, even though it's also still randomly generated. Like at the end of like my like kind of playthrough or whatever, I've got this ability to make plants. Like early on, you'll see me in this footage come up to a plant that says tickle, but when I do it, nothing happens. But then I get an ability that when I tickle it, it shoots up and it becomes like a vine, like from Super Mario.
Yeah.
And you can climb up it. And so now when I die and I explore again, I'm like, oh shit, now I can get to places maybe like shortcuts. And that takes place because I was going through the game and I found a door and it was like, oh, this door locked at the 8-minute mark. So you have to get to that door by 8 minutes. I don't know what the fuck's behind it.
So then
Something.
it becomes like a race to get back to it?
Kind of, but the thing is, it's randomly generated. So where the fuck is that door this time? But yeah, so the art is great. The music wasn't super memorable. I might have to play it a little more to get into it maybe. But one of the cool things is you saw me doing upgrades, and so your upgrades are like any cells you put into an upgrade is permanent. As soon as you do that, it's done.
So even if you die, you don't lose that stuff.
Correct. And you can't, like, I don't know if it's this scene or maybe later on. I try and leave without spending all of my cells, and it's like, no, you can't. You
It's
have
like-
to spend it.
It's like Rogue Legacy in that too, where you gotta spend all your money.
Well, no, in Rogue Legacy, you don't have to.
Castle.
Also,
You can
Ark-
hang on.
You can,
Well,
well, no,
lose
if you
but-
know, so the thing is, in Rogue Legacy, early on, if you don't have the upgrades, you just lose it all as soon as you go back into the castle. This literally will not let you not spend it.
Also, just to note, Art Insanity in chat says the music is currently unfinished.
Okay, well then, yeah, I'm not putting any judgments on it. You have health vials, kind of like almost like Estus. Every time you stop at one of those guys, you refill it. and you fill your health. There are weapon drops where enemies will drop like weapons, or you'll find them in the world, and you have to physically choose what you want to have because you only have 2 weapon slots and then 2 like item slots. And items are like the 2 items I have are this one is a like bear trap, and then the one next to it is like an ice grenade that will freeze enemies.
There's some cool looking weapons too.
No, there.
Have
Oh
you
god,
gotten a
there
whip
are.
yet?
So I saw a whip, but I don't have it yet. The currently weapons I'm using are these 2 twin blades that have fire. I found this one like assassin's blade that like the 3rd attack does like extra super damage, and here's like assassin's dagger. Like once again, like randomly, if I hadn't have jumped over that thing and run backwards, I wouldn't have found this random item.
I do like the look of the like when you're actually attacking dudes and like the feedback it looks like it's giving you when you actually kill dudes.
No, it
really
definitely it is a satisfying feedback.
And some of the light effects when you go like into doors. And
so
stuff
yeah, so
reminds me of
it is
Mark
of the Ninja, where your vision kind of like the you have like almost like a cone of vision.
Yeah. Does that play into like the way the game plays? Like, does that?
Not yet so far. I think it has to do with
More
like
of a visual
enemies.
flourish?
If your cone of vision is hitting an enemy, they can see you.
Yeah.
Kind of type deal. One thing that, and it might just because I'm early on, I haven't been super impressed with, is the verticality. Like if you notice when I'm attacking, I can only attack left and right. I can't attack like up. And that I don't know if that's because it's an early access thing. I hope so.
That'd be weapon type too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I've only experienced a few weapons.
How close is this game to being? Well, I mean, it's early access, so who knows how long?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
left, but
Yeah.
This could be like
Who knows?
super
Subnautica's
early, or-
still in early access.
Yeah, right.
Still?
Yeah.
Their store page says they want to be in early access for about 8 to 12 months.
Okay.
When did this enter? This must have just entered early access.
Yeah, this is about a month old.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. The thought of having a
May
game in
10th.
early access for that long, it's just.
I mean, it's more of a
It hurts, man.
I think
it
I feel
hurts.
like, yeah, it hurt.
But it's also to an extent like free dev testing. I mean, people play the game and it sends bug
Yeah, but I feel like it
reports,
also-
And this has
so-
been getting good buzz, so made them
Yeah.
some money.
yeah, no, definitely. I'm hoping that
Oh shit.
it doesn't get such bad reviews. I don't know why that's slow down. It's very smooth.
This is getting good reviews.
No, I'm just saying I hope it doesn't become a situation. That's why I'm putting it down. I played a good chunk of it. I played down like an hour, and then I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm going to set it down. I don't want to ruin it for myself because I am enjoying it. Rogue Legacy is a game I spent a lot of time on for that reason. It's quality gameplay, good music. It keeps you going because the roguelike elements of it are fun, and so I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it in this footage, just because it's it takes a while. But eventually, I get to like a boss type character, and there's like random shops you'll come across. If you happen to have the gold, you can buy it. If you don't, you can't. You'll come across like permanent upgrades in the world, like health upgrades, strength upgrades, increasing your you'll see like everything has a number on it, like the weapons have a number, the special items have a number, and then your health is a health bar, and you'll come across them in the world. And if you happen to have the gold, or you happen to find it in a secret, there's secret like walls and stuff like that, you can get it, and then get a permanent upgrade, which is nice. I don't know if I do it anytime in this footage, but all those little portals I'm coming up to are literally, here's a permanent upgrade. Teleports, so you can interact with it and teleport to anyone you've previously come in contact with. So it's similar to Rogue Legacy, like the teleports, but this is much quicker. Like it's very fast paced. Like when you teleport, it takes like a second, just like it's really quick, which is nice. It doesn't necessarily slow down the pace of the gameplay. I came across this, no idea what it is. There's lots of things so far I've come across. Like I found the statue that kind of vibrates. I don't really know what it does, and so that kind of ties back into
have a certain amount of mystery to any roguelike.
Oh, totally, yeah. There's like these weird statue, like kind of they look like the training dummies from Rogue Legacy, and if an enemy is near them, it puts like a shield on them, which is kind of cool. I've only fought like one boss, but I'm fairly certain it was like a mini boss, not a real boss. It's like I think when you encounter them, they just it puts the word like elite over their name or something like that, letting you know it's like a more powerful than normal enemy.
This looks really cool. My only
does.
concern, anytime I hear the word early access, what concerns me is I feel like there's a certain part of me that just wonders if it's ever going to come out of early access. Like we're talking about like
Subnautica.
Subnautica.
Yeah.
Like,
well, so in regards to Subnautica, that game came out in early access when there was nothing to it. They had pretty much just developed the world.
yeah, I'm just wondering like, is it ever going to come out of early access?
Well, I mean, come on.
Like I feel
Darkest
like,
Dungeon came out of early
Some-
access. And
didn't
Some
Rust
games have
just
a
recently
more-
come out of early access?
I mean, that's
but-
another game that it's hard to like put a
I just feel
final.
like the
Some
early
games-
access has this like reputation for like
Well, it's
being like a limbo.
God.
it's
What if-
different. It's different for every project. Some games go in with like a firm schedule and timeline of what they want to do in early
Yeah.
access, and some are just building the game and will release it when it's ready, but want to have it available in the meantime.
What if
you know?
State of Decay 2 is an early access game?
Oh, fuck you!
Don't say things like that until
Don't
we
be
know
a
it's-
dick.
That would be awful.
See it though.
This looks like it's gonna be.
What if Divinity
great.
2 is an early access game?
It is, and I've been waiting.
Oh,
It fucking is.
well, that was a big. Oh, well, then never mind.
Yeah.
It hurts.
How does it feel, Brad?
It feels terrible.
And I think it's a situation where it's frustrating because it's a game you think you'll enjoy, like Subnautica. Brad and I have both put, I don't know, like 5-6 hours at least into that
Yeah.
game, and it's great. But
I've
then,
put more than that.
yeah, no, I might have, I don't know. But you almost like have to put it down
Yeah.
because it's like if I don't, I might ruin the game for myself. And you really want to wait until it's out of early access. But then definitely some hype, dies down.
But then
And
you
I
build
think
a giant submarine and you're like, fuck, I gotta
yeah,
keep playing.
this is the weapon I just got that does like a really cool like final attack, and it'll do an extra amount of damage. But yeah, so like I fought the first kind of like boss of this game, or mini boss, I guess, and that was something I was talking about, that tickle thing. Like if I had that ability, that would cause a vine to go up, and I can get to that area above me.
Nice.
But yeah, so I came across some sub boss, and I kind of brute forced my way through it. And then like there is, I don't want to say there's a story to it, but there's kind of like a little bit outside of when you're exploring. You meet some interesting characters. And you die, and they like, oh, you're back from the dead, blah blah blah, and they talk to you.
There's
You
at
don't-
least some context.
yeah, and you don't really know what's going on early on. But I beat the first mini boss, and then I started going. I don't know if I died or if I just went back, and I started exploring again, and I come across another like elite. I'm like, oh, this is probably just as easy as that first guy. He like killed me in a couple hits, and I was like, oh fuck, I didn't see that coming. Which sucks because I didn't take the ability to like retain X amount of your like gold or something when you die, so I like lose everything, which sucks.
Yeah.
But it kind of adds an air of you got to be cautious when playing. And so you see all those blue orbs I'm collecting. That's the cells that you need to upgrade your everything.
Well, this does look really fucking cool. Even from just like a visual perspective, I think they're doing a lot of cool stuff aesthetically.
No, definitely. And I will say the controls are very tight, which is nice. It's very responsive. I don't get any of that kind of. I don't know why the encoding is kind of messed up.
I just hope they add the ability to swipe up.
Oh yeah,
be
no,
nice.
like and I'm
Or down.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain they will. No, I'm sure, Chris Davis. It's on my recording end. I do remember seeing I think this is the first like kind of mini boss. I do remember when I was recording seeing at OBS every once in a while, and he summons these little fucking guys too. OBS complaining about encoding, so I might have just been settings on my end. I did unlock the frame rate, so I was running at like 800 frames a second.
800.
Oh yeah, it's just when you don't put a limit on it, when you turn off like VSync and like you have a good graphics card, my 1080 is running this with no problem. Obviously, it's not that intensive. So yeah, the frame count goes crazy. I wonder. See, that's that ability I just got. But anyway,
That's cool.
So Dead Cells, I would definitely either check it out or maybe wait until it comes out of early
I feel like
access.
this is kind of the preview I need of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I'll
is
keep-
good
I'll keep my
enough to
eyes on
like
it,
as soon as it comes out, definitely check it out.
Looks dope.
Yeah.
Dope as hell. Well, I think that's kind of perfect timing. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back up on the other side, I do want to talk more about Prey because I know Krispy and I have been playing more of that.
I have as well.
And you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk more about Prey on the other side, and then we have a bunch of news topics to
Oh,
cover.
and another game.
What's the other game?
Oh,
shit. Yes.
See, that should have been
Don't
on the banner.
Go anywhere. We're gonna talk about Prey and PlayerUnknown's
PUBG.
Battlegrounds.
PUBG.
Yeah, PUBG, whatever they said. We're going to talk about that on the other side. So if you're watching us live, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment.
Apparently, there's another Brazilian steakhouse that's like similar to Fogo, and people like it.
Estancia.
Yeah, Estancia. Yeah. But I don't know if is it cheaper. I heard it's like cheaper.
It's about
I
the
think it's like
same.
40 bucks.
Fuck
a
it.
plate.
Okay.
E3 meeting at Fogo de
It's-
Chao.
Don't say
Fuck
40
it.
bucks a plate.
Honestly,
I'm eating more than a plate of food.
Only
having
for patrons.
I'm feeling generous.
Brad's
tonight.
eating for 2.
I feel like they're both about the same.
Yeah.
And then there's another one called Texas Day Brazil that's like the same thing.
What?
But I
I've
haven't
never
seen
heard
one
of
those
that
around
one.
here. They had one of those in Orlando.
Orlando, Orlando, I love you, Orlando.
Oh, this one's up in Arboretum.
Disney,
Estancia.
golfing. Seoul restaurant and DK Sushi, Izumi Sushi, Mana Korean restaurant.
Okay, can we go? What are we even
Yeah, let's
talking
go.
about?
What are we
We
doing?
started talking about food, and then
It's 10:30. It's 9:30.
Okay, about to say, don't say shit.
It's 9:30.
Don't alarm me like that. All right, are you ready?
10:30 somewhere.
Well, I hit record. You ready?
I'm ready.
Brad, are you gonna be playing with that for the entire show?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because it makes lots of noise.
Yeah, we still got a lot to talk about.
We do have a lot to talk about in the second segment of this podcast. I would like to kick things off by revisiting Prey.
Pray.
Because I've been playing a shit ton of Prey, enjoying the hell out of it.
Pray.
Why?
Why? Because
Or you were enjoying the hell out of it last time you played, right?
last time I was still kind of warming up to it.
You were complaining about the combat, right?
The combat, yeah. I feel like I've kind of grown into the combat, or grown to like the combat more.
Or have
now.
you just gotten either more abilities or more?
Characters,
Yeah.
Grown to.
I mean, I've
deal.
grown more accustomed to the way that, because it does not control like a typical first-person shooter. There's not like you don't
Correct.
hold the left trigger and zoom and go, look down the iron sights to shoot like that. That is not how this game works. But I've become more comfortable with the way this game controls, so it doesn't seem like as big of a problem. Then again, I also wouldn't necessarily say the combat is necessarily the reason why I love this game as much as I do.
Why do you love it?
I love this game because this game has such an incredible sense of place,
Yes.
and the
Yeah.
exploration
This
is so
space.
good. And the footage that I recorded, I just happened to be, I was playing it last night and I hit record, and I just happened to be floating out in space. So the first like half of this footage is me just kind of exploring the outside
Did you
of
go out
the
to that
space
space
station.
shuttle?
Oh, say what?
Did you go out to the space shuttle?
I have
did.
not. I have not even seen. I know.
I found it.
Crispy mentioned last week
Yeah.
seeing the derelict shuttle. I have not even seen it yet. But I've these moments where you go out into space are really really cool.
They're so cool.
and it's
This is like one of the coolest things I've ever
it's great
seen.
because like I mentioned it last time briefly, but like what's one of the things I loved about Dead Space were those few moments you actually go out into space, but they restrict you. Not restrict is kind of a harsh word. They just don't give you nearly as much freedom. Like you literally go out into space and you can go anywhere
Yeah.
Yeah.
around this huge towering space station.
the fact that it's like
You can't get back in certain
Right.
spots until you've unlocked them. But the fact that you can float, if you wanted, you could do laps around this giant. It's like doing laps around Rapture if it was floating in space.
yeah. The fact that it is like a fully explorable, completely realized location that you can go and interact with, instead of it just being a contextualized like game mechanic where like, oh, hit X to fast travel through the airlocks or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Or even like an on rails thing like some of the token underwater segments from like BioShock 2. Like the
Makes
fact
a
that
difference.
this is a thing and that you can actually have those moments where you're like, fuck, I am on the wrong side of the space station. I need to get back to my office and get something. What's the easiest way for me to do
Like-
that? It's like, I'll fucking jump out an airlock and just swing back through
Like,
the hardware lab or something.
That sense of like kind of like
It
because
is
there's no up or
so
down in space.
fucking cool.
Like look, like right here, I was like, wait a second, what the
Yeah.
fuck? And then I start to turn. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
and there we go.
The way that like up and down just stop being a thing out there, like like the way you move, the way you navigate is so realistic but fun. Like
It takes a lot of getting used to, and the thing is, I've gone out in space several times, and I've been to the guts section where it's zero.
the guts is so
zero G,
disorienting.
and it's a thing where it's like it's like you lock yourself to some orientation,
Yeah.
and as soon as things get weird and your orientation's thrown off, you're like, what is going on? Like I don't even know anymore.
Let me ask you this.
And out in space, there's stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, God, yeah.
I found this.
I haven't seen this.
There's a dude who accidentally jettisoned himself out of the space station in this like cargo container, and he's like, I'm running out of oxygen. I need to like get back to. And a timer starts, and this just happens seamlessly. Yeah. And you have to go back into the cargo bay, find out how to redock these cargo ships, and you have to do it before the timer runs out.
Could you just open his shuttle at the thing?
There's a code on it.
I think you can hack it open.
Keypad and if you hack it open, he just dies.
Wow.
And also, if you run out of time, he dies.
I came across some people that were like, "Help! We're stuck in this pod, and like it can't get us sent out into space unless you go outside and blow the hatch from outside." And they're like, "Do that," and I just pressed the button to like send him with that. And they're like, "What are you doing? I understand why you'd want to kill him. He's a dick, but why would you want to kill me?" Like, it was hilarious.
That's awesome. Like, oh, just so much.
Let me ask you this though, and it's a shame that this game is not doing so hot, from what I understand.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, I've heard it could be doing better.
But like, imagine how much more impactful this would be if it was seamless.
Yeah, no,
that would blow my fucking mind.
It would be nice. And it is kind of
because
shocking.
like going into that shuttle, where I found some like sort of perimeter like little doors that you can open and like fly into a little bit, or like just breaches. That's very like just
I wonder from outside and
yeah. Imagine if the whole thing was like that.
I wonder
like,
what the limitations are though. Like, is it an engine?
It's loaded.
It's loading.
For sure. I mean, there's a lot.
Like, but if they were building this on a different engine, would that be possible? Like, it just kind of makes.
You got to think. This is a game that has to remember every single displaced item, every single ball of goo.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's too much going on.
2, 3, 1, 2.
Yeah. So like, it's just, and not to mention, like, if you don't save this guy, you eventually go back into the ship anyways, and there's a bunch of survivors waiting there, and he was a part of this group, and their dialogue, and like the fact that you can go in there and he's just gone. If you save him, you go in there and he's there, and you can talk to him, and it opens up dialogue options and stuff like that. But if you don't, he's just not there. He's just dead. And like, that sense of freedom is super, super rewarding. I'm also really, really, really loving the skill trees and like all the freedom you have to upgrade your character there. Like Brad said,
are y'all doing alien abilities?
I've done a few.
I've done one.
I've got two or three of them, but I'm having a hard time justifying.
Is it the turret thing?
Well, the turret thing's kind of scaring me off. And then Nick said that he used some fucking ability.
I'm getting there. Okay. That actually happens.
Well, this is pertinent. So you do your thing, and then we'll talk about it.
It's because it requires too much resources.
So let me tell you what you'll see that this is probably gonna. I don't know if the footage will get there before we finish talking about it, but this happened while I was recording this. I discovered last night, very important lesson. If you use alien abilities in the proximity of survivors, like human survivors, they will try to kill you. Like they lose all trust in you, and they turn on you. Like that
makes sense to me.
It makes sense. I just kind of didn't want to know that.
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of consequences. There's another consequence that none of you have mentioned that I don't know if you guys are aware of. That those abilities also bring about something else that's kind of another bear to deal with.
Don't talk about that. I want to.
So I mean that's my struggle. This whole game is it's like the abilities are so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like I got one that lets you like resurrect corpses to fight for you.
I saw that
got, like
one.
the
That's
fucking
cool.
like the psychic blast one.
But it uses an energy meter that doesn't refill on its own.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, I feel like it's so much
more
But
efficient.
even the non-alien ones.
So
I know bullets don't.
The problem with that, Brad, is my problem is the psi meter doesn't fill on its own, so you need psyop.
It's just a psi meter.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the item to refill it. The hypno or whatever, whatever. You need that to refill it, but the problem is the materials needed to make that are the materials that also needed to make neuromods.
Not just
and
that, but
is like the frustrating thing.
Yeah, bullets obviously are a depletable resource, but you can like dramatically increase how much damage each one of those bullets does. By upgrading your weapons and upgrading your gunsmithing and stuff, so like or your firearms. So it just ends up like to the point where I feel like it's just much more efficient if you're kind of a min-maxer to focus on just those weapons and maybe like the slow-mo ability because you could just kill things way more effectively without worrying about depleting a resource.
I did want to get more alien abilities. The thing is, there are so many useful and, in my opinion, absolutely necessary non-alien abilities that you need. Like I have maxed out my suit, so I have the maximum amount of inventory space. I have the I can assign more chipsets or chipsets to my suit. All those things I think are absolutely. This game is. This game can be challenging. Like this game does not fuck around. Enemies are deadly. They take a lot of damage, or you take a lot of damage from enemies. So avoiding confrontation is a viable option a lot of times, because sometimes it's like, do I have enough bullets to kill this thing? I have no idea. There's also a particular enemy that is very let's just say, I don't know if everyone's fought this thing yet, but no.
I think we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah, I won't mention what it is, but it's
the hacking kind of sucks in this though.
Could be better. It's all right.
It's all right.
I mean, I wouldn't call it any better or worse than any other hacking game. Like I think it's kind of right on par with like the BioShock hacking game.
There's more to BioShock,
Brad. Like, have you made it up to the Arboretum? To the top of the station?
I've not played in a couple of Fridays. It's hard for me to remember.
So probably not.
Probably not.
You didn't go through the guts.
But I mean, I have been in the guts, yeah.
Have you been through it? Have you gotten like out of it?
Did you got to the section at the other end of it?
I mean, I went through the guts and I didn't stay in the guts, so I'm thinking yes.
Did you get to a section with like some plants?
Like a greenhouse? Maybe I'm right there.
That might have been where he stopped.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I played the game for
because that's where they introduced the enemy that Nick's talking about.
Yeah.
Then no.
Okay.
I'm just blown away by the amount of freedom, and it's so weird. I tweeted about this because Prey has gone through so much like drama and shit.
There's new stuff about Prey 2 that came out today.
What was it?
Like Eurogamer's doing a thing, and there's been like reports on like what was going on with that, like
Prey 2
with Prey 2.
Yeah,
and it sounds like it was going to be pretty amazing. And it also sounds like that game. There's an achievement list for that game. Oh. That game might have been more done than we realize.
Well, no, I'm sure it was very close to being done.
Well, then, if it was mostly done, then that's probably a sign that maybe it just wasn't that good if they were to cancel it.
But how many games have come out, Brad, that have been pretty fucking shit, but you still get to play them? It sucks when a game that's probably going to be pretty decent.
It might be some kind of inner politics.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that's exactly what it was.
But it's just weird to think, like, after all this shit, after all the development woes and Prey 2 being canceled and like everybody forgetting what the fuck Prey 1 is and then getting confused with this game, like this ultimately ended up being a like modern day spiritual successor to System Shock 2.
Who captured this footage?
Me.
You know you can sort the inventory, right?
Wait, what? No, wait, what are you asking me? What?
You know you can sort the inventory.
L3.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that.
Someone in chat's complaining about your inventory.
Oh my goodness.
Well, the problem is the inventory constantly gets unsorted.
If you click it multiple times, it'll
sort it in different variations. Okay. Yeah, but the problem is it easily becomes unsorted. But I have so much
inventory space right now, I don't need to sort it, so it doesn't matter.
Like even when you go up to like a machine to like deposit all your junk, it like fucks up your inventory sorting.
And then you hit L3 after that, and it sorts it for you, which is great. It's just like I can't believe Prey ended up being this. I'm really glad. Like, I'm bummed that Prey 2 didn't come out, but like this is also pretty fucking fantastic.
What do you think's better, this or Dishonored 2? Who's the better Arcane team?
Dude, I don't know. Well, first of all, you're saying Prey without even playing Dishonored 2.
Hey, I played like an hour and a half of Dishonored 2.
Let me go ahead and say, like, Dishonored, the fact that y'all haven't finished Dishonored 2 kind of blows my mind, because that game is also fucking fantastic.
I'm waiting. That's going to be one of the first games I play when I build my new PC.
Good. This game does, like, Arcane is, like, I was nervous about that. I was like, okay, this is Arcane Austin. It's not the same team that Dishonored, but, like,
Sean Elliott worked
mantra,
on this game.
like, their, whatever the hell defines them as Arcane, has absolutely stuck from one studio to the next. Like, this is, once you're like an hour into this game, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I see why this is an Arcane game. Like, it's very obvious. And I think this is probably a deeper game than Dishonored, and I think Dishonored's a pretty deep game.
Yeah, no, it's certainly deeper. I mean, this one's more of a
RPG.
Yeah,
and but like I
don't know.
I've gone off the rails in this game and started exploring parts of the station that I shouldn't necessarily have access to yet.
Totally.
You can get so creative with the way you access certain areas, and like that stuff. So I'm still not like mimics. I think are a really cool concept. I think it makes the combat. It's something I've never seen in a game before, which is great. I'm still I don't necessarily think the overarching enemy design is the most impressive in this game, but the conceit of what the mimics are and how they work is really, really cool. And like I said, I've gotten more used to the way the guns feel and how they aim. And
I mean, there's at least a consistency. I mean, like something like XCOM has really cool enemy variety, but like it also doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know, that a muton and a sectoid would come from the same sector of space.
Yeah.
Well, you see, because they're actually all genetically modified, they're like engineered to be different to fulfill certain
right now?
But they don't even look like from the same. They're cut
because of
from
all
the
the
same
gene
cloth.
splicing.
Whatever.
Point is, this game is cool. And as I got more weapons and I started experimenting, combining them, switching them back and forth, and like getting into these like more intense. Like I just died right there. Like getting into these more intense firefights, like the combat starts to shine.
I don't think glue is
way more than it
effective
does
on the
earlier.
electric guys.
What's that?
I don't think the glue gun is effective on the electric guys.
To some extent,
the
but
glue
yeah,
pops
you're
off
right.
faster.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like every enemy, if you scan them, will show you
Yeah,
like what
their
will
weaknesses are.
and won't work
Like
on them.
scanning
yeah.
enemies is like a whole other layer that's really
Yeah,
cool. Like, you unlock abilities on the like the ability to actually get skills in the skill tree by scanning them first.
Man, I just like the production design of this game.
Yeah, it's
everything
great.
just looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like I heard there are. By the way, my I don't know if y'all found it. My pistol's gold.
I did not find that.
I found just by exploring a shit ton of stuff. I found some secret fabrication plan for a golden pistol, which does like 2 points more damage per shot,
wow.
and like that was just hidden somewhere. And because I spent a bunch of time exploring a part of the station, I found it, and like that's rewarding you with that kind of shit. It doesn't always give you that kind of shit, but like I love opening every drawer. Like every time I open a drawer, I'm like, ooh, what am I gonna find here?
That's the same thing with me. Like when I first started playing the game, I found like the Q-beam apparently way before so many other people because I happened to find a weird airlock in space and go inside it and find like a dead person that had one on them.
Yeah.
And like they definitely exploring can get you a lot in this game and can be very rewarding.
I also really like when you find new weapons and stuff, and it gives you that first animation where you pick it up and you look at it, and some of the stuff just looks really cool. Like the lure when you have those like those 3 tentacles coming out, and they're they act like they have like a mind of their own. It's fucking weird. But
I'm wondering if they did that because of Doom in this Bethesda game.
maybe I don't know.
Possible.
But like this is just another like Bethesda has been fucking on point.
Yeah.
With these games the past few years, which is why I'm really, really excited going into E3 because like Doom, Fallout, Dishonored, Evil Within.
I want something. I really, really, really want Bethesda proper to do like an open world like space game, or like because that Elder Scrolls formula is so distinct. I really, really, I don't want another Fallout. I don't want another Elder Scrolls. I want them to take that formula like they did with Fallout 3, and I want them to apply it to like fucking Cyberpunk or space.
I mean, there's no reason to,
or like one of the other classic nerd settings.
There's no reason to kill those franchises, but maybe they could
kill the franchise,
but introduce a third one into the mix.
Yeah,
Like,
fucking
that'd be cool.
like because whatever it is. Nothing out there that has been in that setting is gonna feel like an Elder Scrolls game because nothing really feels like an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah,
Not
dude,
the same way.
I was working on some E3 graphics and stuff today, and I was looking at Bethesda stuff, and I ended up just kind of stumbling across some screenshots of Skyrim, and it just got like I got that itch.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
Like, I forgot how like visually just appealing that game was, and how much like I made me want to explore that world, and that's why I tweeted. I was like, "Does anybody know how that HD remaster of that game is?" Because I kind of want to just play Skyrim again.
You get it on your Switch.
Yeah, I could. Oh shit, I could get it on my Switch. I'm gonna get it on my Switch.
There you go.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know if y'all want to say anything else about Prey. I mean, that's kind of all I've been playing.
I haven't been playing enough of it. Like I said, I got to the Arboretum and played maybe like an hour past that.
By the way,
I've been playing
The
new
UI,
games.
the fucking
That spin wheel
the spinning
thing.
wheel thing is fucking genius. By the way, this is what I was talking about. Like what I did here, I turned into a phone and I slid under this thing, and I was like, "Oh, I got into the secret passage." And then everyone was like, "What the fuck is that?" And they started shooting me. So like, I
Calm
just
down,
discovered
guys.
and I was trapped inside this
a
thing. And I was
cage.
like, I can't get out. And I'm just basically being. It's
Despite
like shooting,
all your
they're basically
rage.
just shooting a fish in a barrel now because I locked myself inside this crate, which is crazy. But yeah, man, there's so many fucking cool things about this game. I can't wait to finish it, and I fully intend. I think we're gonna do a spoiler podcast for it for sure. So
Cool.
as soon as I get that done, which maybe I'll knock it out this weekend. We'll see if I can just stop exploring every fucking nook and cranny of it.
That's my ultimate downfall with this game, is I feel like time wise I've played as much as like Krispy, but distance wise I'm like nowhere near him.
That's my issue.
Because I fucking like Carlos beat this game in like 17, 18 hours, something like that, and like I'm at
He's
like
beat it twice now apparently.
I'm at like
Yeah.
18 hours, and I'm like I just got out of guts.
He did an alien power only run.
Jesus Christ!
But like he committed to it, and he didn't even get the one thing in the human tree that increases your psi pool.
See, Chris Davis did it in 24 hours, and at the rate I'm going, and the fact that I don't want to speed up my pace, I'm really enjoying the pace at which I'm moving. But the fact that I know I have a lot more to go. Like I'm probably gonna spend 40 hours in this game easy
Yeah.
at the rate I'm going. So we'll see. We do have one more game to talk about. Krispy.
Oh my god! How about them?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
We're gonna talk.
Time to talk about a game,
what?
Brad.
We're gonna talk about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. And
PUBG.
Oh my god! What does that even mean, you bastards?
PlayerUnknown.
I know.
Battlegrounds. It's an
All
PUBG.
about that chicken
It's an
dinner.
initial chicken dinner. That's what. If you win, winner, chicken dinner. You're number one.
If you're the first place, yeah.
So, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is a battle royale type multiplayer shooter. Basically, what that means is you've got a large map. It's an island, an entire island. You drop 100 people on it.
From the same
And-
plane, literally.
Yeah,
Parachute.
a plane flies over the map, and you jump out, and you parachute to the ground.
Do you get to choose when you jump out?
Yes. That is the first.
Could you jump out and miss?
That is a huge. I didn't record this. This was Chris Davis.
Okay.
That is, in fact, choosing where to jump out and what you do once you get out of the plane is like a big part of the strategy of this game, because the plane takes a different route every single time. So it flies in a straight line, and you have to look at the map and see, like, what am I going to fly over? What's a good, like, what are going to be good places to gather resources? Oh, there's a large town here, or there's a military base or a nuclear power plant. I could aim for one of those, but those are probably going to attract a lot of people because they always have the best loot. So like a lot of times you just try to jump out of the plane and then try to like immediately veer to the right or left so that you're getting away from everybody, because if you end up landing in the same spot as other people, it basically comes down to who's going to get a gun first.
Yeah.
That person is going to win.
Let's punch him to death.
The whole thing is timed. So
Yeah,
I
open
think
that
it's like a
shit kinda
30-minute
early.
match or something like that. But there's a timer that runs, and like the first 5-10 minutes of the match or so, you have full reign of the map. And then they put up a circle on the map that says, okay, we're going to restrict play to this circle in like 5 minutes. And at the end of that 5-minute counter, they start this field that sweeps in towards the border of that circle. If you're on the wrong side of that field, you're constantly taking damage and you'll eventually die.
Gotcha.
So you have to. So basically, as
people into
people
the
are
middle.
dying, they're trying to squeeze them into smaller places. And then by the end of it, it's usually an area of like, I don't know, like a football field or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to the end that many times. A couple times. I've done okay.
What do you mean,
I've done okay.
get to the end?
Get to like the final 10 or something. You know, be one
You
of
gotta
the.
play conservatively. I mean, there's people that are like, oh, I got number 2. I killed one person.
Yeah. No, that is how the game, like, a lot of
You
my
just
matches have
fucking-
been, like, hiding and scavenging and trying not to
You
engage
get kind of
people.
lucky about where you are on the map versus.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, there is a luck aspect to it, like, where you end up, where you decide to start versus where they end up throwing that first border, because
Yeah.
you never know. you know. And there's a lot of like tough choices you have to make as far as like, well, do I want to spend more time looting before I start heading in and run the risk of running into the field or other people who are, you know, also out here looting, or do I want to hop in a car? It'll let me get somewhere a lot quicker, but it also attracts a shit ton of attention because noise is a very big component in this game, and you can hear cars from a very
What were you gonna say, Brad?
far
You saw the
away.
other person, and how come he didn't like?
Yeah.
They might have formed a pact.
You could have been playing doubles.
Yeah, he might,
So they have
group
singles. They have singles, which is 100 people. They have doubles, which is 50 teams of 2, and then they also have like team games where you can have more than 2 people. If you're playing like doubles or something, you're ranked by team. So like you
So both persons kills.
right. It's how far your pair goes. Now your buddy can die and like pretty early on, and you have to just like run the whole match without him. But you guys will end up with a cumulative score. Of
even
how
if you
well-
have to carry the
yeah,
team.
even if you have to carry it. Which I've been playing with my buddy Jeff, and that's happened a couple times.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I openly bitched about hearing this game all over the other podcasts and whatnot, but the conceit of this game
there's a reason why
is
you're hearing about
very fucking cool.
yeah.
it. It is really fun. It offers a certain sense of excitement that a lot of like Twitch-based like small map first-person shooters don't give you.
Yeah.
And a lot of that it shares in common with like Rust. Remember we were playing Rust a few years ago,
Yeah.
and like Ark for a little while. You
Don't
get
forget
that
about DayZ. Or
Daisy. Yeah. In fact, this whole like genre
King of the Hill.
came out of a mod for
H1Z1.
H1Z1.
yeah.
That kind of like became its own thing. Remember we were seeing King of the Kill at like PAX?
Yeah.
That's essentially the same thing as this, but I guess this is.
Do you
a
think
lot
this
better
one
done.
has like staying power? Because those
Legs?
have all been. I think somebody in chat was saying that multiplayer flavor of the week.
It definitely has that like kind of faddish quality to it. I don't know how big the community is going to be in say a year, and this game is still technically early access.
What was the one where you're the killers and the kids that people were playing last year?
Oh. The one that Chris Davis was really
Dead by
into?
Daylight.
Dead by
Yeah.
Daylight, and that Friday the 13th one game is coming out like next week.
Yeah.
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I think people are already streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
So, but
These people
but
would
what
just
I was
be-
saying was it has a lot of the appeal of that. But one thing that I think makes this more accessible than something like Rust is that you do get that sense of like you have to scavenge everything. You jump out of the plane with nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you have to every weapon, every piece of armor you find in game. You have that like intense like open area where running into another person is a big deal. And you get that like mistrust. There's less opportunity for that like kind of rare, weird bond to form of like, hey,
I think
you don't kill me and I don't kill you.
In Rust, that
But
was much more prominent because you didn't necessarily have to kill
There
the other
wasn't, like, a
person.
goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't have the goal. Oh, be the last one alive. So in Rust, when you met someone, you would often form packs and be like, "Hey, there's some dicks around here. Do you want to like team up against them?" Whereas in this, like, you can't really trust anybody.
No,
Can you actually
you can't
communicate
team
with
up.
other people?
In fact, if you're playing singles and like 2 people team up to kill other people, that's considered a form of cheating.
Yeah.
You do have to kill everybody in this game, so you don't get that as much. But that sense of like dread of like, oh, I see somebody running across that field way off in the distance,
Yeah.
like that's a big thing. Like, do you pursue or do you just like try to keep a low profile?
yeah.
Because like if you attack, you're giving your position away for other people to come ambush you. Most of the kills I've ever gotten were because I ambushed somebody who was already in a firefight with somebody else.
Yeah.
like you know what I mean?
Nice and honorable, Crispy.
That's the way you gotta fucking do it, man. But what's great about this is you get all of that in a very small package. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's not like Rust where you get more out of it the more you put into it, or like
These are very isolated experiences.
right? Where you have to like build, like you and your friends will like build a fortress, and then you'll like somebody has to keep defending it, and you guys have to keep maintaining resources, and you can lose all that and build it back up, and it's just kind of this long aimless thing. Here it's like a match, just like I've lost matches in as little as 10 minutes, you know? And even if you go all the way, it's still like a 30-minute thing. So I think that maybe gives it a bit more staying power in that it is a really easy game to just like play 1 match, play 2 matches, or you can sit there all day and just keep reloading.
Yeah.
It's really fun. We'll see how it sticks around. Maybe once it gets closer to like a 1.0 version.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I hope it maintains its popularity.
These are so popular, and I've been saying it since it was announced. But I'm terrified that State of Decay is going to turn into one of these.
I really hope not.
Because it's so obvious, and these things are so popular. And State of Decay was already kind of popular.
But are you saying State of Decay 2 would become one of these?
Yes,
that's a Brad's fear.
But State of Decay 2 has already been like shown off, hasn't it? Or no? It
Not
hasn't?
really. They showed a cinematic trailer. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think they're gonna.
That'll be it. We'll know. We'll have our answer to that question in a few weeks.
I think there is still some key differences between what State of Decay wants to be and what this is.
Well, what State of Decay was certainly, but this is a new world where these things make people rich.
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of this is because this is a very watchable game. It's a very streamable game. It's huge on Twitch. But like, I think State of Decay, I think, is already a pretty watchable game.
This is one of those games where it's filled with emergent moments, and a lot of talk about it is going to revolve around like, oh, this really cool thing that happened to me in this fight, the other day. It is an interesting game, especially it's especially interesting how like the dynamic of combat works in this game, and how like in the beginning of the match when you have literally all the space that you could want. Most of your combat tends to take place like within 10 feet. You're doing a lot of like closer combat, and then as the game map, as your like workable area gets smaller and smaller, and there's fewer and fewer people, that distance of engagement gets crazy far. I mean, there are so many times. Most of the time, I'm being shot at. I can't even see the guy who's shooting me. He's like way off on a hill somewhere, laying down with like a scoped rifle, just like taking pot shots.
You know what this game is? This game is like maybe not exactly, but it's like I remember back in the day. You remember the game Mag? Do you remember that game?
There's nothing like
that game was
that,
supposed to be a massive action.
The whole thing
game.
it was like a 100-man multiplayer.
Yeah. No,
that's
it was
what this
256 or something like that.
Oh
was
yeah,
it?
something crazy.
Well, I mean, it's not the exact same thing, but like this is like what
PS3.
that game probably should have been going for, which is it's 100 people on a big ass map, like. I don't want to do a 100-person fight in the middle of like a tiny fucking arena. I want to be in like the idea of like landing on a giant island.
This idea that you're like on this island and all you have a counter at the top that's like 99 alive, and then you'll see the number going down, and it's like I've been on this island for 15 minutes and I haven't seen or heard a single person yet, and then all of a sudden you run into somebody and it's like, oh fuck, like who's got the better gun? Basically,
I find that 1,000 times more interesting than what
you're gonna play against people that play these shooters all the time. And they're just gonna fucking headshot you, and it's like, how can you beat that?
But they do have, I feel like they've got some kind of leveling system with it. Well, not really.
I mean, they're so fucking.
But like, I feel like I've done pretty well for not having played that many games.
But like, also
it benefits from the fact that so many people are playing it.
Yeah.
Also,
you
like,
get a lot.
Every discussion I've heard of this game on other podcasts and whatnot has been like,
even when you're losing,
people are happy when they get like one kill.
Yeah. Oh, dude! Like if I'm playing a match where like I pull my trigger more than a couple times, like that's an exciting match, But it's still fun. I feel like the tension you feel the whole time when you're just like okay, I need to get from this house to that house, and I have to cross an open field to do it.
Yeah,
just fucking run and hope nothing happens. Like that sense of tension when there's nothing happening. Is I think what is kind of electrifying.
I'm feeling especially malleable tonight. Crispy, how would you like to play this with me?
Dude, I would totally play this with you. I would totally play this game with you. I bet there's
not you, Chris Davis. Crispy.
Chris Davis clearly already has his own friends.
It's fucking terrifying when like people are shooting at you so far away that you can't hear the gun and you just hear the bullets going boom, 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 like hitting a tree next to you, and you're like crouching down trying to find cover, like. It's really cool.
How much is the game?
I think it's like $30.
$30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Early access for $30. I'm assuming that gets there. You get when the game actually comes out.
Oh yeah, with $30 you own the game.
This is the game.
Yeah.
I mean, early access in games like this is not. This is not the kind of game you wait for early access to be over.
This isn't going to necessarily be like.
Yeah. There's only one map though, right?
It's one map.
Yeah, I'm assuming
but it's
it's
a big, diverse map with a lot of different areas.
Plans for 3 additional maps, says Chris Davis.
Can we just get this in space now?
Yeah, that'd be cool, right?
All right, we do need to move on. We do have a lot of news to cover, but
holy shit, yeah.
I do want to try this.
I guess I won't talk about Lucard Chronicles 2.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to save that one for next week. I'm sorry, Brad. We have so much to talk about. News. it's been like I said, it's been 2 weeks since we had a podcast. There's been some fucking bombs dropped, news bombs.
Yep.
Not real bombs, news bombs.
Well, I mean,
Oh god damn it. Okay. There's been some news. Let's start with The Witcher. Maybe The Witcher.
Is that news? What
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Is this news? Netflix.
Live action
Netflix is developing a live action Witcher series.
Nick,
How
Consider
did
me
that-
skeptical.
Nick, did
as
you see
fuck.
that?
Yeah.
Did you see that Photoshop picture of Mad Mikkelsen?
Dude, I
Yeah, I
tweeted that.
saw.
I was so. If it's not Mads Mikkelsen playing
It
Geralt,
could be.
it could be a lot of
You
people.
could cast this exactly how you want. It's still probably going to be weird and lame.
I don't know. What if
I seriously don't
Geralt
believe
of
this gonna be
Rivia was played by Robert Downey Jr.?
all right.
I'm saying it doesn't matter how they cast this
Dandelion
thing.
should be Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yes, that would
there's
be good.
no
What'd you
way-
say?
Dandelion should be played by RDJ.
Robert.
I'm saying it doesn't matter how you cast this.
So I mean, the thing is, there already
first
is
of
a
all, I disagree
live
with you
action
on that.
Witcher. There already is
Yeah,
a live
it's
action
fucking
Witcher.
awful.
Yeah, and it's horrible.
But like, I'm
Was
sorry.
it a movie or?
It was like a
There's
TV show.
There's a movie and a TV
Yeah.
show, and they were both
I assume it's in Polish.
fucking
Yeah.
terrible.
First
you
of all-
can't make it look good.
Oh, I.
Well, I mean, they're a little bit older. I mean, with modern, CG and stuff, you
Never
would
say
never.
I
Oh, a
think.
TV
I
show?
think. I
These
think what
monsters?
matters. What
Let's
matters.
do
Dude, have you
practical.
seen? Hold on. Have you seen Netflix's budget on stuff like this?
Dude.
What they produce? Have you seen the shit that comes out of like Game of Thrones? I mean,
But they're
you
not
can-
fighting like flying succubuses and shit.
Here's the thing: if you're basing it purely on like the way like the monsters look, like I hate to keep talking about that. Like, I've been watching Buffy. That's an old show, sure, but like the visual effects in that show, at least early on, are pretty dated.
Well,
but the story they're telling is so good that like it doesn't fucking matter if they can tell a good story with those characters. I'll watch it, even if it looks kind of budget.
I will be surprised if it doesn't look like cosplay.
Dude, have you seen the fucking guy that cosplays at Geralt at all the cons? He looks pretty fucking good.
He doesn't even.
But
really look like
you put
cosplay.
you put him in a field like walking around with the sword and a CG monster. He's not going to look cool anymore.
First
He
of all,
looks cool at a con.
I think
not on TV.
dude.
You're making up your mind.
There
on
are
on this.
there are certain people. Like I said, there's not a whole lot known yet about who's actually involved, who's like directing or who's like leading the visual production of this show. But like certain people, like I'm just thinking about like Brian Fuller comes to mind. He did American Gods. He did Hannibal.
Yeah.
Those are super visually striking shows.
Dude, apparently
Like,
American Gods is just fucking fantastic.
I really want to watch that.
I've seen
Like,
the first 2 episodes.
if someone like him with his like eye for detail and like visual like imagination was in charge of this, it could be fucking incredible.
There's
Like
potential.
there's
You know
potential
what?
here.
It could also be a piece of shit.
It could also
We'll
be a
see.
piece of shit. Like it's way too early to make that call. Like also, this is weird. Like on our slightly related note, that Castlevania thing, which was announced like a few months ago, they released a trailer for it. I thought it's already far enough along to have like a full trailer, and it's coming in July.
people are very positive based on that what they've seen. in
Sure,
that trailer.
but like it's weird. Like I don't know what to think about this because like Netflix, like when they announce something, like it usually
Well-
doesn't take as long as you would expect for it to be out and ready.
This is an animated show.
The
Two.
The Witcher.
No, he's talking about
Castlevania.
Oh
yeah.
no, but like you know when
Maybe
they first
Witcher
announced
should've
that, like
been
when they first
animated.
announced they were going to do Daredevil. Like I was like, oh, it's gonna be a long time before we see that. But like within the year of hearing that announcement, we were watching Daredevil.
Can I say on Castlevania? Because a lot of people have been kind of wanting my thoughts on this. Like I
Oh, really?
played
Have they?
a lot of Castlevania games.
Oh, have you?
A lot.
Tell us about it.
I don't know shit. I don't care about the stories in these games.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't.
not
I
why
don't
you
know.
play them.
I don't know what this story would be about, and I don't think I really care. So I'm having a hard time envisioning. Like I'm trying to imagine like the perfect Castlevania anime, and I still don't know if I'd really care too much about watching it. I'm probably gonna watch it anyway.
That's almost exciting though, because it's like there's enough cool stylistic elements in Castlevania already, but they have room to make a cohesive, compelling story that maybe even if it's new,
maybe.
you know?
But like the story hit in the series has never been good.
Well, I don't think
And
they've ever been going
they've
for
never
that.
been able to like settle on a timeline.
The creative teams behind the games and the creative teams that are working on the show are totally different.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that gives the creative team working on this show a lot of creativity or a lot of freedom to get creative and tell a story that they would be.
I mean, I'll
confident
say
in
this:
telling, you
I
know?
watched that trailer and I was like, I'll probably watch that.
But I'm worried that it's not going to have enough Castlevania
to be identifiable.
well, no, I mean it is, but I want like.
You want the cross.
I want like stupid fan service because without that, I'm just watching, a Vampire Hunter D.
Well, like he said, in the trailer, he says something like, "Who are you?" or whatever, and then like I was expecting like Simon Belmont to come
What
out,
is a man?
and then like the man who's gonna kill Dracula, and I was like, "Who the fuck are you? Who is this character?" I was like,
everyone in every Castlevania game who wants to kill Dracula. I don't want it to. I mean,
I expected it to be Simon Belmont.
Really, at this point, me wanting to watch it would be just me wanting to watch a dark anime that might be good, and I'm not really that person right now.
Well, we'll see. We'll know. We'll have our answer to that
question. But if the buzz is good,
I'm
I'll watch
totally
it.
that person.
Me too. All right. Next news topic. Hit us with surprise us, Chris Davis. We got, I think, 3 total. Oh, yeah, this is weird. I didn't expect
is that weird?
Life is Strange
Dude,
sequel?
DontNod is making a sequel to Life is Strange.
Wait, why is that weird?
It
was very successful.
Yeah,
I know
the
it was
game was
very,
well received.
I know it was very successful.
Way
Did you know
more
that
than
was a
Remember
well-received
Me.
game, Nick?
That's what people do. They make sequels to well
I
received
know it just
games.
didn't seem like something that would be like very like it didn't lend itself to me.
But
Well,
Max
the
and
story-
Chloe.
the story doesn't.
What happens?
No,
I like if they're gonna do Life is Strange. I hope it's more of like
Wait, you
an
do know what
anthology
happened.
type
It could
thing.
be.
No,
Why? It
I
could,
know,
that's
But what
exactly
happens
what it
after
could be.
what happens?
There's no after. It's all Donnie Darko. It doesn't matter.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to alarm everybody by saying I think it's weird. I was certainly not
Different characters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it was an anthology, different characters, and Life is
Yeah.
Strange had just
But
more
like
of a.
that's not like. So I think of an anthology for like what was the? There was like a video game series that we were like would be really good with for an anthology.
Well, I consider like Outlast an anthology. I don't.
No, not Outlast, but like
Grand Theft
Resident
Auto.
no, something where whatever.
Infamous.
Okay, now you're just
That's
looking
weird.
at the wall and calling
Yes.
things out.
But what I'm saying is like there's nothing about that first Life is Strange season that is like you want like translated to like different characters. I mean, like it's not like those mechanics were good.
No, like
I mean,
How do you know, bro? How do
like
you
to
know
me,
you don't
Until
want it?
Dawn. Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. That was it. That was it.
No, like,
Until Dawn, perfect for like an anthology. Life is Strange is just sort of its own thing, and I don't know if I want that again, but with different characters.
No, but like here's the thing: like life, the words "life is strange" could have so many different meanings. Like, who says it has to be like the same mechanics or the same concept with different characters? It could be like a new story, new characters, new mechanics.
What if
everything,
it's
but-
called Life is Stranger?
But Life is Strange is like the meaning of that title is already so. I mean,
I don't know.
yeah, Life is Strange. It was kind of coming of age, and it was also kind of literally strange. But beyond that, what the fuck does the title mean? It's not. There's not.
It could be anything.
Like I'm saying the premise. Like an anthology is based on like I think more of a premise. Like the premise.
Mechanically speaking.
Not just mechanically, but I'm saying there's not enough there to make that something that should be translated into something else. That makes any fucking sense.
But like, I also don't
Like
feel
we
like
were talking about like space Bethesda game, but that's because Bethesda makes a certain type of game that is so good that you want to see it translated into other things. Nothing about Life is Strange outside of like maybe a specific character relationship was like it's not even as translatable as something like a Telltale game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
make sense.
That's
to
why
me.
I'm surprised, because outside of it being an anthology, I don't really want a sequel to that story necessarily.
Yeah.
I kind of like that game's kind of a standalone thing. I don't know.
And
I mean, maybe I'll see a trailer for it and be like, okay, I totally want more of this. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just thought it was kind of an unexpected. It was not. I knew DontNod was going to be very successful following Life is Strange. And they were going to go on to do another project. I just didn't necessarily expect them to do another Life is Strange.
So like Until Dawn, horror story, but in a amusement park. Survive till dawn, right?
Yeah.
Right. That translates like, oh, what do you move over from Life is Strange?
I have no
Coming
idea.
of age girls?
I don't know. I have no clue. I mean,
that's weird.
I was one of those people that really did enjoy Life is Strange, so I will be happy if this turns out to be something I'm interested in. I just don't know what that's going to be. So we will have to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Next up, we have. This is. I'm sorry.
Why did he made an overlay for?
I
this?
mean, I made an
not
overlay
to.
for it, but that was before you told me not to. So here it is.
It's just
This is kind of a blip.
lame,
We'll just go through
news.
it. We'll go through it.
Beyond Good and
quickly.
Evil 2 is not at E3. Which
Could that be it? Could he be like trying to throw people off though?
no, he's not trying to throw people off. You know what? I thank him because I've gone into E3 many years
Expecting
now,
it to be there.
expecting or there's this tension. Is it going to be here? Is it not? That's not.
Oh,
There's no tension
we're talking
now.
About Michel Ancel. Is that how you say his name?
Michel Ancel.
Beyond Good and Evil 2, according to him, according to a conversation he was having on his Instagram, Beyond Good and Evil 2 will not be at E3. The weird thing is that he said, I don't know if E3 is the place to show off Beyond Good and Evil 2. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like, E3 is like the ultimate place to show off your game. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can take from that is it's not ready to show off yet. But he did say in the same breath that we should expect to see Beyond Good and Evil 2 before the end of the year, which means maybe the Video Game Awards at the end of the year he might debut it. I don't know, but outside of that, unless maybe Gamescom, I don't fucking know.
Oh well.
But yeah,
What else we got?
What else we got? I know we got two more. I think. Oh. What I don't know. What he's hit us next. He's taking too long.
It's already up.
So
Nick.
it's
What
already
are
up.
you
Shit.
doing?
Rumor Microsoft trying to salvage Scalebound
I
without
thought
Platinum's
somebody at
involvement.
Microsoft was already like, no.
Yeah, this has been kind of disproven. In fact, I didn't even know. I didn't even realize I made this made this overlay. It's been kind of debunked, but Microsoft did.
Also, that doesn't make any sense. And if there was any hint to that, that's about as real as Microsoft continuing that remake of Phantom Dust after severing ties with the people who were making the remake of Phantom Dust.
Yeah,
they're not going to do anything with it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have severed that relationship. It doesn't make any sense.
They just don't want people using the names. They basically renewed the.
They own it, so they're like.
Well, that's what I was saying. They
business.
renewed
Trademark.
the trademark so no one else could have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greedy bastards. All right. Next up.
Sons of
We
bitches.
have, Red Dead Redemption 2 was delayed into spring 2018.
And nobody was surprised at all.
I was not surprised. To elaborate, they've gone even further in a call. I think it was stated that it wouldn't be until at the very earliest April of next year because of the way they're
Too many games this year anyway. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with this because
It's a little bit of a bummer because
It is,
sometimes
but-
Rockstar games just don't get delayed; they come out.
Yeah, but the last big one, Grand Theft Auto 5, was like a couple weeks from launch when they delayed it by like 6 months.
Wait, really?
It was like going to come out in November. And then,
They
like,
pushed it to-
I remember I was working
was
at
it May?
GameStop at the time. We got our
Yeah.
new marketing material in, a bunch of new Grand Theft Auto stuff, and it all said 2000, whatever the next year, 16 or whatever it was, all
15,
over it. When
whatever, yeah.
before it had said November, and it didn't come out until like April of that year.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm personally happy because this year is already a fucking madhouse, and I don't need another massive game that I know I'm going to spend.
But what's in this fall?
We don't know, and that's what E3 is for. E3 is going to fill up the fall real fast. I'm pretty sure.
Fill me
South
up.
Park.
Fill me
Yeah,
up.
South Park. That's also the new. They don't have an overlay for it, but South Park's confirmed for is it October.
Shadow of War 2.
I think so. Yeah.
Shadow of War 2.
I'll play it.
Anyways,
Yeah, you will.
the last news topic I wanted to briefly talk about is Far Cry 5 setting,
Oh,
and the key art was revealed for it.
Yeah.
We're getting the full reveal for Far Cry 5 tomorrow, so
Yeah.
maybe next week we'll comment more on what this game actually is. What we do know is they have confirmed, they released a teaser trailer, they have confirmed it takes place in Montana, which is what that rumor was. It looks like modern day Montana, but this art that they released kind of
Interesting.
suggests subtly that this
Something-
game might be
What, Nick? What you
Come on.
going
religious
Set it up.
extreme, like
It's
white
a
nationalists? White nationalists?
it is
I don't-
a reference to a biblical painting, but that doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily
no.
mean it's going to have anything to do
Oh,
with
I mean,
that.
Pretty sure we're just going to be killing shitty.
I'm pretty
racist
sure
people.
that's just
Yeah.
a copy of War and Peace in front of him.
I'm pretty. Yeah, like Brad said, I feel like this is just gonna be Far Cry where we're killing just like bigots.
No, do you think it's going to be
right now?
Which is totally fine with
that
me.
trailer where you just hear the church bell ringing, and as they like fly by, you just see a guy like bashing another dude's head against the church bell over and over again.
Yeah. So,
Obviously, this is going to be. It's Montana. This is going to be religious fundamentalist.
It's a religious cult or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, are there already people going like so much for the tolerant left,
yes. No. Absolutely.
killing the good people of Far Cry 5?
the good white people of Far Cry.
This game is going to get. I can already tell. If this game is what this art kind of suggests it's going to be, there is going to be so much backlash.
Oh my God.
It's going to be beautiful. I can't even wait.
Yay.
Do you think they have like
Cojones? Is that what you're?
the cojones to
Dude,
like,
I hope so.
let
Stand
you
behind
play
it?
as a person of color? Because that's
Well,
what
no,
they need to do.
the suggestion. So if you look at every Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, the art on those boxes was always the main villain sitting center with the protagonist like right in front of him, like some fucked up position. So the implication is the guy with the word center written on his back is the hero,
Yeah, you
and
can tell.
he looks to be
Lame.
white. So, but I don't know. They could.
Why don't they have the
could surprise
balls
us.
to make the main character a lady of color?
I think.
There you go.
Honestly, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
none of this is confirmed, but I mean, honestly, like, if they even had the balls to make it about what we're talking about, and like at a time at this day and age right now, with
I mean, look at it.
I know.
It is.
Yeah,
about that.
this is
That is what this is.
from the lens of.
You don't combine that much imagery and it not having.
I just
Where's
hope-
the Far Cry team? Are they French?
Last Supper, Bible.
I just
Sinner,
hope.
No, they're.
I just hope it says.
Swedish?
I hope it
Direwolf.
says like.
Direwolf, Montana,
I just
America.
hope it's as topical
Like-
as it's suggesting, and like they don't like skirt around the issue.
There's an American flag.
I mean-
on
I know.
Ubisoft.
It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited for this.
There's a little bit of Brokeback Montana going
I mean,
on.
I'm just telling you right now,
I
they are
don't
taking
know-
a huge risk.
I
Because
don't know that Ubisoft always does an effective job of this, but they definitely always try to stick their hands
Yeah.
right into this stuff.
They usually kind of fail at it though,
Yeah.
at the heavier themes, but
Yeah.
We'll see.
They're fun to play.
I'm very excited to see what this game actually is. You know me, I love Far Cry, but also you can't really see it in the way I kind of cropped the photo. But like off the edge, there's a biplane, so it looks like there's an airplane you can fly, which is cool. I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
There better be gyrocopters.
No, they're going to be
Dude,
there's
there's gonna be.
So
cool
they're
shit.
replacing it
Yeah,
with.
they'll be
There's,
drones.
and dude, I just Google it. Like I just Google imaged Montana the other day, and
Bunch of trees.
bunch of
Yeah,
trees.
nothing.
It was like okay, like you know, the rumor was this is gonna be a western. It's not. It is a western per se, but you know, not in the traditional
It
sense.
takes
but
place
like
in the American West.
takes place in the American West, modern day American West. But like, it looks like it's probably gonna be a beautiful game. I'm pretty excited. So we'll find out more about this tomorrow, and we'll talk about it on next week's podcast. But now, that's it for the news. Nolan,
What
I
up?
think we have some questions from our supporters on Patreon.
Oh shit,
don't
we do. We got some questions from our patrons because it's a community. Unfortunately, we don't have any new patrons this week. That's all right.
Bummer.
We know some of you out there have been wanting to become patrons, and you were just waiting for the next episode. So now's your chance to become a patron, and then on the next episode, we're going to talk about you, the
That's true.
patrons.
We will
and how
personally
big your penis is.
we will personally thank
Or
you and comment on the size of your
vagina.
penis
Or
or the size of your vagina.
Yeah.
okay, sure.
How big your penis is, or how much your vagina is exactly how you want it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Whatever the desirable qualities are there.
Yep, there you go. So yes, we do have some questions from our patrons this week. Let's get to those. First question from Nick the Batman. Are there any popular character designs that you hate?
Popular character designs that you hate.
There definitely are.
This might be a little controversial. Sitting next to this guy.
Oh fuck you!
But
fuck you!
I
knew this-
really hate like hooded protagonists, especially like the Assassin's Creed look.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people like it, but like it's so cringy.
I
to
hate
me.
what that spawned. I'm fine with like the Assassin's Creed. The original concept from that game was like, yes, a guy back on with the 1500, 16, whenever it was.
made sense, I guess,
And
in the
yeah,
first
so
one.
yeah, you would have your hood and he was trying to blend in with monks and whatnot, and that made sense. But what that spawned was kind of weird. And I mean, personally, I don't like the nerd culture that it spawned, all like the hoodies with like the. I don't like some of that. But
like when you're a pirate on a pirate ship wearing a hood.
a hoodie.
It's just
Yeah.
like, what is this? Is so cringy. This is not. This is not like cool.
Dude, I wanted a giant
fake
fucking
cool.
pirate hat.
I'm not gonna say anything.
would've been
I know. But I had to say it. I was being honest.
Yeah.
But there's a lot.
Popular character designs that you hate.
There's probably a few in Resident Evil. I'm trying to, like,
Oh yeah, like some of the more recent, like not Resident Evil 7, but like some of the characters in Revelations, like 1,
yeah.
and like Resident Evil 6. Ugh.
Oh, let's see.
I don't know.
But the key word here is popular. So like the ones that are like,
What about the Final Fantasy 15 characters?
That is
were they
true.
popular though?
Yeah,
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah.
that game was.
But they were also kind of-
very successful.
I think they were also kind of compared to some of the other like more bombastic characters in Final Fantasy. Like they were pretty subdued. Like they were all kind of dressed normally.
Yeah,
Their hair
but
was a little wacky.
They didn't fit the setting. I just think they
Well,
looked.
compared to everyone else in the setting, they didn't fit in. They were definitely kind of weird outsiders.
Yeah, there is a certain thing about that like tone to that game that I did like though a lot.
I'm really having trouble trying to think of something. I mean, usually if it's something I don't like, I tend not to think about it.
I think Mario looks like a punk ass bitch.
yeah.
He stole Luigi's swag.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on.
Yeah. If I
next
think of anything
question
else, I'll bring it up.
from Yumosui.
You
Lots of weird rumors about a PlayStation handheld equivalent to the Nintendo Switch. What do you make of it? Could Sony pull it off after neglecting
How
the
did that
Vita?
start? There's rumors.
Yeah,
Apparently.
I mean, I think a lot of this is people reading into things necessarily they shouldn't
Probably.
be. I don't at this point. I don't think Sony wants to even try their hand at a fucking handheld system again. I feel like they failed twice in a row.
Wait,
What? Twice in a row.
No, the PSP was very successful.
Was it?
That was extremely successful. Yeah.
Man, I never.
That was like
I never
the
could-
best-selling system in Japan.
I never thought. I mean, maybe that's why because I'm so disconnected from Japan. But like,
I mean, it
here in
definitely sold
America,
a
I
lot
never
better
thought of
in
it as-
Japan than it did in America, which
Yeah.
always frustrated me because in Japan they kept releasing like 3DSs that were blue and white and pink and green and all this stuff. In America, we got the black, just like the stereotypical. And then eventually they were like, "Oh, here's a super fucking limited edition Final Fantasy Silver one that was like super hard to get a hold of."
Here's why I don't think this rumor is true. Because there's something. The Switch is very specifically a console and a handheld simultaneously.
Are you talking about the PSP Go?
No, I'm just talking about the PSP in general. I never thought
Okay,
of
because
that
the
system.
Go was pretty not successful.
Well, yeah,
but,
of course,
yeah.
but like,
Was extremely not successful.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm just it's here in America, and having worked at a video game store for a while, I could probably tell you I sold maybe like in the like 5 years that I worked at GameStop while that system was out, I maybe sold like 10. Like
Those were for the kids who couldn't afford 3DSs.
Wait, wasn't it more expensive than a 3DS? No, I guess it wasn't.
Not if you're buying a pre-owned.
It's just based on that and like the library for it, I just never really considered it much of a success. But I'm sure in Japan it was. But here's like the Switch is
PlayStation Portable is in the top 10 of all time
sure.
on systems. It sold more than the 3DS,
All that is from Japan.
more than the NES, more than the PS4. I know the PS4 still out. More than the Super Nintendo.
why did this fucking
more than
library
Nintendo
suck balls?
64. More than the Sega
There
Genesis.
definitely was
you
plenty
made
of
your
good
point,
games.
Brad, but why did the library suck ass?
I mean, I think it's
but it didn't. Like, there's a lot of. Here's what sucks.
the God of War games on the PSP
I had
were
a
great.
PSP. I got 4 games for it before I was like, I'm done with this.
Here's what sucks about the PSP and the 3DS is that Western support for those games are shit. You occasionally get from Sony, you got some first party stuff like God of War, but like if you're not into like Japanese like RPGs and strategy RPGs and niche games like that, there's not a lot to like. But there is a ton of that stuff.
There's a ton of Japanese
that was
games.
like that's like like the PSP and the Vita are great systems.
Persona
for
3
like niche
Portable
and hidden gem games.
sold like crazy.
Yeah.
Persona 3 Portable, that was the definitive version of that game until it came out on the
Vita?
The Vita, yeah.
I mean, there's
Golden
I don't
came
doubt
out.
like
that.
hidden gem like system like crazy.
But to get back to the original question,
yeah.
the Switch specifically is a handheld console hybrid. PlayStation currently has a console, and like if specifically they're referring to the idea of a console that doubles as a handheld, there's no way we're going to see that anytime soon.
Yeah,
Maybe
none of this
maybe in
sounds real.
maybe in like 5 or 6 years, something when Sony's talking about doing whatever the next actual PlayStation is, maybe they'll start tossing that around. But during the PS4's actual life cycle, I don't see them introducing a handheld that is meant to double, because you can't do that. There's no way they can take the current PS4 hardware and make that work as a handheld.
Yeah.
Agreed. I don't think they're going to.
Unless it's purely downloadable.
It
and
is
you're downloading
possible for
games.
them to try to go for some mobile market again, even though they've tried money. You know, they for a while back they tried to do the Sony Xperia phones that had like a gaming side to it, and those failed. So I mean, while it definitely, I guarantee you there are people at Sony talking about portable.
Yeah.
Will they release a new console for it? I don't know.
We'll see.
Maybe
they'll surprise us. E3 is in a few
they
weeks.
could.
Who the fuck knows?
Next question this week from Sunny. I have 2 D&D questions.
Ooh.
Notice how Crispy irked up. You know, ooh, heard the word D&D.
What were you looking at?
Does Billy Belmont also like fat, thick asses?
I mean, yeah.
And how tall is
Why did you
Brace
ask
and
him?
Jorn?
What about me?
He asked you a question.
You just got one. How
And how
tall
tall
is
is
Brace
what?
and Jorn?
Well,
Oh yeah. how
I
tall
wanted
is
the
it?
question about thick asses. That's what I want.
Well, you can go ahead and answer that one. And
Yes,
then the
he
tall
absolutely
question.
does like big, thick, with 2 C's.
Thick.
Thick asses. How tall is Brace and Jorn? I'm gonna go with my height, which is 5'9".
So he's short.
So he's short. Yeah.
He technically counts
He's
as
short,
a small creature.
so he can get closer to the thick asses.
Character class.
Yes.
He should have been a.
I'm a nice 3.5 feet tall, so I'm
Should've been a
face to
halfling.
face or face to ass.
All right, next question this week from Cobra. I don't know how many of you are longtime D&D players, but what was it like? What was everyone's first game of D&D like?
Well, my first game of D&D was that one we did a few years ago, and compared to what we're doing now, that was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. I feel like y'all hate on it.
First of all, it's also like
But-
when you're first when you're trying to make that jump into that kind of gaming, there is a certain wall you have to get up past.
So
you have to get comfortable with the idea of role playing.
there's a wall,
loud,
and
and
I think the problem was with our DM, and nothing against Jordan, who was our DM. He was a great guy. I think
hell
the
of a
problem
mustache.
was, yes, he had a great mustache, and he had the fucking white streak in it, and the white streak in his hair that
You
made
got a
him look,
row. Nice.
yeah. But I think he would have been a great D&D dungeon master for an experienced group of
Yeah.
people. The problem was we were all fairly new to it, and
If not totally new.
yeah, we were all knew nothing about it.
We were using players' guides from editions that didn't even match up.
Yeah, but the problem was,
Were you using 3rd edition and 3.5
yeah,
edition?
yeah, 3 and 3.5, and so the problem was we would ask him a question, and he's like, yeah, sure. Like he didn't guide us enough. And I think the problem was he wanted us to be able to do anything, but the problem was you can't give someone that much space when they don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We needed some sort of kind of it's like a nudge in the right direction, which I think is what made things more difficult.
Which I feel like is what we've gotten with this new session, which is I think is going fantastically.
Yeah.
You guys are doing well. You guys are doing well.
All right, next question this week from Mr. Green Toast. Are you guys
Yes.
hype? Are you guys
Yes.
hype for the Friday the 13th game coming out tomorrow, the Friday the 26th?
I don't
why
know.
did they
I don't
do
know
that?
if hype is the word I'd use for it. I'd try. If it gets good buzz, I'll try it.
I'm not. I think it's kind of a one-trick pony that's gonna get old quick.
Oh.
I think isn't it kind of like that game that came out last year?
Yeah, which was
Dead
a
by
one-trick
Daylight.
pony.
Is that what it was? Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
When is the next Friday
Yeah,
the
I don't
13th?
I mean, I like that.
That's-
There's they work in his supernatural element into the mechanics. That's kind of cool. Where he can just teleport
Yeah.
because that's what he does in the fucking movies. It doesn't make sense why he's in front of you when he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's Jason and he's supernatural. There's mechanics to
Well, that
support
was
that,
that
which
was
is kind of cool.
Slender. Like when you played Slender, when no one saw you,
Stop
you
it, Slender.
yeah, stop it, Slender. When no one saw you, you were super fast. You could turn invisible.
That's what this is like. But I've never played that. I didn't know.
So the original or not the original concept, but the concept in Slender was when no one was looking at you, you could turn invisible and you were super quick. Now you couldn't become visible if you were in someone's line of sight. You always had to so you could do it behind them or around a corner, And so you would turn invisible, run really, really quick to get to where you think they might be going, and then like pop up again.
I will say though, like it's really brutal.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen. I don't. Maybe I'm getting older.
Well, you
but
are.
like it's like these are teenagers, and Jason will just grab one and like shove something like all the way through their head. It's like extremely like watch a trailer, extremely graphic, and they don't try to like hide it or anything. It's just extremely violent towards like these teenagers, and it's like holy shit. Like they're like reveling in it.
Great.
My God.
Also, the last Friday the 13th was January, and the next is October.
That's probably why they didn't.
Probably tough.
They're like, maybe we should wait, and they looked at it in October. Nah.
Yeah, they're like, it wasn't gonna be ready by January, and they couldn't wait till October. They need money. All right. The final question this evening from Prince of the Universe. With the limited time sale of Alan Wake, the PC port of Vanquish, and the free Shadow Drop of Phantom Dust? Shadow Drop? What?
Shadow Drop. They just
They released it
without...
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, okay.
Any fanfare.
It seems like cult classics are starting to get a second chance to shine in the mainstream. What old games do you wish would get the same opportunity?
Well, the thing is, those are all just being re-releases. I can think of a few cult classics that I like that I don't necessarily think, like, if they release today, no one would appreciate them because they're not necessarily, by today's standards, they don't play well anymore.
Yeah.
Like the first one that just popped into my head, I don't know, was Nightmare Creatures, and I was like, no one would play. Like that game I love that game back in the day, but like that game came out today, no one would play it or care about it. They would have to like remake it or make a sequel to it or something. And at that point, it goes beyond the scope of the question. What are cult classics?
A cult classic. I wish was remade.
I would like to see some of the old Star Wars games remade, like TIE Fighter and X-Wing.
Yeah.
How about a new Castlevania game or a new Metroid game?
God damn it, Brad! That's not the scope.
How about a new Front Mission game?
Well, there we go. Maybe that's more niche.
Front Mission, yeah.
I mean, it's a Square Enix game, but
Man.
how about a new Mad World game?
I'm really conflicted about this.
Stop
one,
just saying new
but-
games, Brad. That's
but
not what we're
a,
talking about.
But like a remastered version of the Neverhood. I'm really conflicted because the guy that made that's actually like a huge asshole. But
That's a lot of people
Was
in
that
this
the
world,
claymation game that you
unfortunately.
played?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's that claymation game.
How about
And Armorkrog, the new game they made, apparently really sucked.
yeah? I would like a remastering of Shadow of Rome.
Oh, that'd be
Shadows of
good.
Dude,
Yeah.
what about like a new remastered version of Symphony of the Night?
No, we don't need that.
But it would be cool.
Oh. Chris Davis in chat, or Biohunter in chat originally mentioned Zone of the Enders, which, that game.
No, but they already did an HD.
Yeah,
They
did.
did. I own that HD version too. I don't think that. I can't remember if that HD version turned out well or if that's one of the stinkers like Silent Hill.
I would like
PS3 version got patched, and that's the one to get. The 360 version, from what I understand, never got patched, and you should not own that one.
You know, it'd be a crazy one for someone to re-release, like Night Trap.
That is getting re-released.
I know.
I'd like to see
Everything's
like,
getting re-released.
I don't want to say like re-release or HD remaster or whatever, but like some like older RPGs like Chrono Trigger or something like that.
Legend of Dragoon, right?
I
right?
guess.
Am I right?
I was just thinking how they remade or did like Final Fantasy 3, a completely new engine and stuff. I'd like to see not done in like a shitty way, a very like good HD or just like at least a remake of something like Chrono Trigger or something.
While we're at it, someone in chat mentioned Tenchu. I'd love to see maybe a remake of the original Tenchu. 'Cause I feel like the original Tenchu is like the only one. Maybe at Tenchu 2 as well. Like the first two Tenchu games, I think feel unique enough, and like I think they're without a doubt probably the best games in that series, and they haven't been the same since that. I would love to see that game maybe get remade with modern visuals, modern controls. See that maybe a resurgence there. And then, like I've said 1,000 times with other questions, Dino Crisis, man, that game, I would love to see that game kind of make a comeback. whether that's whether in the form of a sequel or maybe a remake, like maybe give it the Resident Evil remake treatment.
There's some of these
Wow, that would be
I can't
cool.
bring up because I recorded top 5 audio for this topic.
It's funny you mentioned dinosaurs, Nick. We just got some interns at work.
Yeah.
We have 20 interns this year, and when the first day, like I help lead the intern committee, and I was asking name, stand up and say your name and something interesting about you, blah blah blah. And this one girl was like, yeah, my name's Ayushi, and I'm really into dinosaurs. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, what's your favorite dinosaur? And she said Brontosaurus.
And they're like, how fast is your
That was her
ass?
answer?
Yeah.
She's really into dinosaurs and she went with Brontosaurus?
I mean, maybe it's like the first
Wait,
one that
I
got
thought
her
they
in it.
decided the Brontosaurus didn't exist.
No, the
Yeah.
Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus.
Didn't exist.
Yeah.
Why did that not exist?
Because it was the wrong skull or something.
And it had feathers.
And it had feathers. It was giant, but it had
Turns out the skeleton they had no butthole.
I think it was. I think
Didn't make any sense.
Brachiosaurus, or maybe it was Brontosaurus.
The-
I think it ended up the Apatosaurus was actually what it ended up being. Just saying.
And then you were like, I know this guy you should know.
I'm
Hey,
fairly
by
certain
way,
the definitive
I'll fix your
answer
butt.
is Ankylosaurus. 100% best dinosaur.
Yeah,
Pretty good one.
Ankylosauruses are pretty cool.
Ankylosaurus.
All right. Anyway, that is all of the questions from our patrons this week. Thank you for all the patrons from asking us questions.
Yeah, you can find us on Patreon, guys.
Yeah,
Patreon.com/4Player.
Every week we post a thread where you can ask us any question you want.
A lot of
and
these
we
questions
will
this week
answer
were
them.
pretty video game or gaming related, but you can ask us anything,
Yeah.
These-
and we will answer it.
These questions were pretty terrible. Don't judge it based on this.
Yeah, we didn't even get like a would you rather or get your shit together.
Jake.
All right.
Jake,
All right.
good.
It's time to wrap up this episode, guys. We're going to do our 4-player minute. We end the show with our hype, our sweat, our thank you, and our fuck you. Brad's going to start us off.
Yep. My thank you goes to Kenton, who kind of helped me pick some parts to build, and a future thank you to Chris Davis, who's going to help me put the computer together. My fuck you, I didn't want you to mention it in the news because it was going to be my fuck you / thank you, is Beyond Good and Evil 2 not being at E3. Fuck you because that game should have been out years ago. Thank you is letting me not stress about it while I'm at E3 because I know it's not going to be there. And I don't like that stress going into that Ubisoft press conference. My hype is for Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord because, I mean, let's be honest, that's the real reason I'm building a new PC, because my current PC would not be able to properly play a new Mountain Blade game because it's all about how many units you have on the battlefield, and you can actually
All about some units.
scale that based on how powerful your rig is. At least you couldn't the other games. And my sweat goes to September. Not only will I be having a child, but they announced the release date for Divinity Original Sin 2. And it is
Well,
most likely
I
going
hope
to be
September's
right
gonna be a
after the
good
birth
month.
of my
I hope
child.
that child knows how to fend for itself, is what I'm
I'm
saying.
pretty sure it's easy to like
God.
hold a baby and click a mouse.
Your kid will be
Just-
like one of those
just-
kids whose
I need
dad
all of
is
my
born
fingers
while
to
he's
play
away at
Divinity.
war.
What are those
Get
things
one of those
called?
things
the
that, like,
papoose or the what, yeah.
The thing that goes around you.
Yeah,
like,
what are those like
It's a papoose.
Isn't that
papoose,
usually
yeah.
for breastfeeding? I don't know.
No, that's for holding a baby, so it's like close to you and
That's
keeps it warm,
sexist,
and you can
first
kind
of
of
all.
I
like
just-
shake it. And
I just hope Brad doesn't forget the baby's there and starts like getting all animated and shit.
Guys, I
Gotta
don't
be
know.
careful.
I'm scared, man.
Oh shit, it's got real.
I had
It's just
to
got
goo-
real.
I had to Google. Do like babies need water?
No, I saw it, dude. I saw that tweet like weeks ago. That was the funniest shit.
It
And
turns
then-
out no,
no.
you don't give him water.
that's
I
the-
was totally gonna give. I
Brad's
guess,
gonna drown his
I was
baby.
like, I guess this baby needs water. We all need water. It's
Time
a
to
living
water the
creature.
baby.
he's just gonna set it in a pail of water and be like, there you go,
I shit
baby.
you not.
Soak
I read
up
that
some
tweet.
water.
I read that tweet and I laughed and I was like, oh my god, Brad's so fucked. And then I stopped and I was like, wait, do they need water? I was
Do you like at least
I
soak
abs-
them in water? Don't their bodies need water?
I absolutely know why Brad Googled that question after I thought about it more.
They also don't need like plant food either. You
I
don't
feel
need
like
to,
I've seen babies drink water, right? From like a bowl.
Lap
Don't
it
they,
up.
I'm
don't
pretty
they
sh-
scoop it into
I'm,
their
I'm,
mouth?
I'm
with their
fairly
hands?
certain they have that little thing that's like a little sack that you strap to the back of their head,
It's got a
and
little bowl
they
that
just
says
kind of
baby
munch.
on it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I can't wait for this to happen. It's gonna be so good.
What happened to the little jars of baby food? You don't see those very often.
Those still exist.
Yeah, but
They stopped doing jars because they were glass, and they make little plastic containers now.
Yeah.
okay.
And people too often gave the jar to the baby, and it would just like,
Right.
yeah, just eat it.
There were too many baby fights with
Yeah.
the broken jars.
Yep. And the baby gets mad and just smashes the jar.
I can't even
It's like
keep
why
a
they don't do
plant
glass
alive.
bottles at baseball games anymore.
Exactly.
I can't even
People
keep
get
a
drunk
plant
and-
alive. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Although I
Your
have had
beta
that,
fish has been
that
going
beta
for like
fish
over a
about
year.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
now.
Apparently, babies are pretty.
Needy, smelly.
Well, I was gonna say resilient, but also incredibly fragile.
No, because when they're born, they're not supposed to be like outside of their mom yet. They're like,
Or like upside down.
yeah, they could just like roll over and die. It's horrifying having a kid at first. After a few months, they're fine. They're resilient, but not at first.
You want to hear some stories?
No,
Okay, no,
I don't
no.
want to hear some fucking stories.
I want to hear a 4-player minute from you.
All
Nolan.
right, my 4-player minute starts now. My hype is I got a little like side projects in the works coming up soon that I'm excited to do.
Like what?
Like handy like product projects and stuff like
at home,
that.
like
Hand
Yeah.
stuff? I love hand stuff.
I like foot stuff.
So stuff like that, which kind of leads into my sweat. In that per Monday, Bernadette and I bought a house.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And that's a fucking giantest sweat in the goddamn world.
But you're done now, right?
It's done. It's over.
You just move in and live there.
You ripped the Band-Aid off.
Oh
Nolan.
my god, not done at all.
You
like,
ripped the Band-Aid off.
Dude,
it's-
it's nice having a house, though.
We'll see.
I mean, at least you're not wasting money on rent.
Yeah.
Just know every dollar you put towards that
It's an
is
investment.
an investment.
No, I understand.
Some people don't even have houses.
That's true.
Also, you can nail shit into the wall.
That is so. I will say that is something I'm very excited for. I haven't lived in a house since 2007, or like a house that like hasn't had a like don't put holes in the wall or don't punch a
Yeah.
hole in the wall. Come
Where you
on,
make the
Is
rules.
that-
Exactly,
Is that
yeah.
common? Because I've been renting forever, and we like
Krista-
we've cut like giant holes in the wall.
Do you usually get your deposit back?
Yeah, I actually got my deposit back today. My share of it was $82
Oh my god.
from our last.
It's funny. Chris Davis asked when we're gonna have a housewarming party, and I was like, I've been living in my house for a year, and I still haven't had a housewarming party at my
Yeah.
place.
That
just-
sounds like a personal
Yeah.
problem.
Watch
I
Daredevil.
assumed you did, and you just didn't invite anyone.
No, actually, I'm probably gonna just do something for my birthday and have people over.
Yeah. All right. My thank you actually is going to go to Krispy this week. I was thinking about it today earlier. I was like, oh yeah, I got to go down south to do the podcast, and I was like, man, I wish it was another D&D night because I had a lot of fun the past couple of times we've
Guys.
had sessions.
guys,
I kind of.
there could be, is all I'm saying.
We
There
don't
will
have time.
be. Just maybe
We'll
not on a
definitely
podcast.
play
Wait, what
more.
if we don't need a video game podcast?
No,
anymore?
fuck! Shut the fuck up.
But yeah, so I'm really glad that's going well. I'm enjoying it. And my fuck you this week change is actually going to go to Brad because every time he talks about the computer, he's like Chris Davis this and Chris Davis that and fuck that
He
Nolan
lives, like right there.
Okay.
You live so far away.
guy. All I'm gonna say is he built Nick's computer and Nick's computer was fucked.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Oh shit.
I mean, I think that's honestly probably a problem with the CPU, not what Chris Davis did.
Yeah, what happened with that computer?
It's
but
still sitting there in my house.
Listen, it's only because you live in another goddamn country.
that's actually
North Austin.
false.
They need to build a wall
To keep you
Nolan
out of
out?
North Austin?
to keep North Austinites out of South Austin.
Okay. I'm sorry, our North Austin healthcare isn't too good for you.
Oh my god, this is getting way out of control.
All right, that's it. I'm done.
Crispy?
Okay, here we go.
Why was Nick's computer fucked?
We don't know. That's the whole point. That's why I'm building
Jack helped
another
me
one.
build my last computer. Maybe I'll
Nobody
just
could
call
figure
Jack.
out. Nobody can figure
Computers-
out what the fuck is wrong with my computer, so I'm
Computers
literally
are-
building a second one.
Are mysterious esoteric things. Sometimes they work and we have no idea why. Sometimes they don't work and we have no idea why.
Let's hear it, Crispy.
Okay, my hype this week is for Fire Emblem Shadows of the
Valencia?
Ancient Dead
Dan?
Dragon.
Fire Emblem. So
That
here's the
lurks
thing. Here's the
in the
interesting thing about the
mountains.
title. It's called
What's it
Fire Emblem Echoes.
Echoes.
Shadow of Valentia.
Echoes?
The Echoes
Echoes?
part of the title, which is written like separately,
Fire Emblem Echoes.
Suggests that they plan to do more of
like
these.
a whole side series of Fire Emblem Echoes.
Well, a Fire Emblem remakes.
Yeah.
Remix.
But yeah, that actually looked really cool. It was not on my radar whatsoever, and now it very firmly is. My sweat is Dead Cell, which is also on my radar, but I don't relish the thought of having to wait a year to play it. Not having to wait a year, but like
You
obviously that's the kind of game that I don't think I'd want to play in early access. You know,
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know that there's enough there to make you want to go back after you've like finished.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
the thing with
I don't
early
know.
access, like roguelikes like that.
But then again, if it's like a new Rogue Legacy, I put like 90 hours into Rogue Legacy on 2 or 3 different platforms.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's that, but more Castlevania,
I will say,
holy fuck.
one of the driving factors of Rogue Legacy was the amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, that's true. God,
There
that
wasn't a
soundtrack
lot
was
of tracks in
great.
that game, though.
But they were all
it was
fucking
incredible.
great.
There's like a fucking remix. I don't know what it is, but I listened to like remix versions of those songs, and they're incredible.
Dude. I don't have a fuck you for the week. I feel
Pretty good this week?
I'm feeling pretty
Positive.
Is there
uplifting?
any Injustice characters that you particularly hate? I hate fighting Cheetah. She always fucking grabs me and throws me around like a fucking asshole.
Deadshot's a fucking dick, though. Fuck that guy.
Just in
There you
general.
go. Just gotta
Well, I mean,
It's not 'cause
like,
he's popular.
yeah, no. I mean, like, he's super cheesy in Injustice 2. He's the new Green Arrow, basically. He's super fucking cheesy, and I mean, he's okay, but I'm not crazy.
So
About
you know
Deadshot.
how in Marvel you hate like Wolverine and I guess like Venom because they're popular and they don't deserve it in your eyes.
I didn't say they didn't deserve it, but like
No.
they're crazy.
Is there anybody like that in DC for you?
By the way, Crispy,
The pristine DC.
I got Logan on Blu-ray, which has the noir version.
I think in the
Nice.
yeah, it does have the noir, doesn't it? I really wanted to see that Logan
When it
noir
was there, yeah.
screening.
I want to watch it.
Oh man, that sucks that I missed that. But I don't, it's just that like growing up, like the Marvel cartoon shows were much more prevalent. It was like X-Men
totally.
and Spider-Man. Like those shows were crazy popular. Everybody watched them, even if you weren't like in the superheroes or comic books. You probably still watch those shows from time to time, you know. And that's why characters like Wolverine are crazy popular. That's why characters like Venom are crazy popular. DC, the closest thing you could get is Batman. And, I mean, yeah, because Batman's fucking awesome. I love Batman. Like,
Okay, so the answer is
there are definitely people who feel the way I feel about those characters, about characters like Batman, though. I just don't feel that way.
What about like the Teen Titans characters? That was like a popular show, right?
I like Teen Titans.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
isn't the only reason Cyborg
Teen Titans, the TV, like the original TV show was around for 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
Like it had a great run on Cartoon Network, but it definitely wasn't overexposed.
But
You know what
Crispy,
I'm
the
saying?
question is,
It's not like what I'm saying is you don't get to a point with DC with anything other than maybe Batman where like if they put something out, you know you're going to see this character, and not only are you going to see this character, you're going to see them front and center on every marketing material. You're going to see them take point in the fucking video game. You're going to see them rename entire series to be this character and everybody else, which is exactly what fucking happens with Wolverine.
I got the answer. You're just thinking heroes. It's the Joker.
The Joker, yeah, you know what? Yeah, the Joker's getting there. He's not there yet, but the
Yeah,
Joker's
he's
getting to the
definitely
point
getting
where, like,
there.
every time I see them like spend a lot of like time or money on promoting something that focuses on the Joker, it's like, man, stop. Just like, there's so much other stuff you could be doing.
Tom Hardy though.
dude, that was what I was going to say. How do you
That
feel about Tom
news
Hardy
topic? Yeah.
being cast as Venom?
You didn't know?
I did know that. You guys just caught me off guard with that. I was still thinking Joker for a second. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
You know what I think? I think it was
I
really
think-
depend on who's directing that fucking movie.
You know what?
Yeah, sure.
I am excited about that, but here's why I'm excited about that. Because Tom Hardy's a great fucking actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't care if if they were doing an all Tom Hardy production of Downton Abbey. I'd fucking watch it.
Michael
you know what I mean?
Fassbender
Like-
was an Assassin's Creed man. You still haven't seen that.
I still haven't seen that. Michael Fassbender is really good too.
He is.
I don't know. I mean, Venom is going to be one of those things where we'll just wait and see.
I think it's also going to be how well Tom Hardy plays Eddie Brock. Because that's something that
I feel like he can do a pretty good.
And that's what I'm almost more excited for is him as Eddie Brock.
I think that
better than Howie
the
Long.
Things that people like about the character Venom have been removed and implanted onto other characters with better success. Like I think that like people who really like Venom really like the look of him and really like the powers and abilities and maybe like the idea of like this alien symbiote, but like nobody gives a shit about Eddie Brock.
I do.
Nobody fucking cares.
I do.
But like maybe this movie
Not
can
really,
make people care about that character.
He's like not really a bad guy.
Tom Hardy.
No, he is.
No,
he's terrible.
he's a douche.
He's
a
fucking the
douche.
worst. Like, there's nothing redeemable about his character at all. They kill him with, like, cancer in the Marvel Universe. Like, he just fucking dies, and somebody else, Flash Thompson, becomes Venom.
Really?
In fact, I think right now in the Marvel Universe, Venom is Flash Thompson.
I didn't know that.
And
Like he's
Exactly.
the bully
he's
that
Peter
picked up.
Parker's bully from high school.
Yeah, do you remember
And they have
the
this
first Spider-Man with Peter McGuire, the guy slammed him into the locker?
That is, to me, infinitely more interesting than Eddie fucking Brock. You know what I'm saying? And Venom, like, becomes kind of a more interesting character. He kind of breaks out a little bit. He's running around with the Guardians of the Galaxy for a long time. Like it becomes much more interesting when you just divorce it from the original Venom that everybody's, like, in love with that I just don't get.
Well,
You know?
I think we can at least agree that it's going to be interesting to see what Tom Hardy can do with it.
For sure.
All right.
And my thank you for the week is for adding both Captain Cold and Mr. Freeze into Injustice, but making it Captain Cold is the main character and Mr. Freeze is a skin.
Yeah, that's.
I think it's
what a twist.
I fucking love that character. I'm glad he's in the show. I'm glad he's in the game, and I'm glad that they didn't cop out and go like, "Oh, well, the fucking Batman character should probably be front and center, and then we'll just make Captain Cold a skin."
Where's the Penguin, man? How come the Penguin hasn't made it into any of these games?
Also, a couple
I mean, the Penguin isn't super physical.
Exactly.
character.
Yeah, he's usually not the fighter.
Yeah. He's more of like a gangster kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Joker.
He's
Whatever.
played best.
All right, my 4-player minute starts now. Speaking of Injustice, my hype this week is now officially to play some Injustice 2. I got really, really excited hearing us talk about the story mode, and I do like what NetherRealms has done with fighting games in the past. So I literally ordered that game during this podcast, and I'll be playing it a little bit over the weekend. I'll talk about it maybe a little bit next week, but I'm looking forward to playing that. My sweat is also a little bit of hype. Far Cry 5. We're gonna find out actually what that game is tomorrow, more specifically.
Yep.
I love Far Cry. I hold that series in very high regard.
Who makes that game? Like, where are they from?
I mean, it's usually split between like two development teams in Ubisoft. I think they're both. I think it's Montreal. I think it's Ubisoft Montreal. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure.
But anyways, I'm a little nervous. I want to see what Far Cry in America looks like, because Far Cry is literally known for, historically taking you to these super exotic locations. So like to like rein it back in and bring it to America, it's kind of a
Bring it back to America.
well, bring it to America.
Okay.
Maybe not back to America.
Yeah, that's
bring
what
it
I'm saying.
into America.
Taking
A
it
non-exotic location, something familiar
Yeah, it's always been exotic.
is unusual. But it's also kind of an exciting move. I'm a little nervous to see how it translates. I'm also a little nervous because I really want this to be more than just a reskin of Far Cry 4.
Oh,
I want
definitely.
there to be some. I want there to be some changes, mix things up a little. Maybe not mix it.
I think
a
there
whole
has
lot.
to be.
I mean, you never know. But
I think there physically has to be. I think
one
the
way or
problem
no-
is these are completely different settings.
Yeah, but
and
like-
it would be hard to just like
everyone
put
always
it.
harps on the like climbing of the towers or whatever. But like you could be climbing like church towers or
Cell phone
telephone-
towers?
or cell phone
Fucking
towers
churches
or
do
whatever
they
the
have?
fuck.
It is
I mean, there are
Montana.
parts of-
What
yeah.
else is there?
There's one church for every 10 people.
I'm just I'm really excited to see what it is. I'm also very nervous because I'm going to play it regardless, and I'm very excited. I'm also very excited because I feel like it's also going to be kind of like therapy a little bit. But
Cathartic.
yeah,
for sure.
I'm nervous too. My thank you this week goes to Team Cherry, the developers of Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight?
They have officially hired on a second developer team to help them produce the Switch version of Hollow
Nice.
Knight. Because at first they were thinking it was going to be a very long time to get the
Correct,
Switch version out,
yeah.
but they hired on a separate team to help them get that out faster.
Good.
So thank you for that, because I really, really, really hope I can squeeze that in before the end of the
I
year.
have many games I need to get back to. Like Zelda.
I'm gonna give them until like October, November, and if it's not out on Switch, I'm just gonna cave and buy it on the PC because I do want to make sure I get that in this year. But I really hope it's out on Switch before the end of the year. And my fuck you of the week goes to Tequila Works for this is kind of an unfair fuck you. It's more of just a god damn it. I really wanted to play Rhyme on the Switch.
Yeah.
But there's not even a tentative release date for it, and the reviews came out today. It's getting pretty good buzz. It's $10 cheaper on the PS4, so I just said fuck it.
What do y'all feel about the Switch tax? It's because those cartridges.
Well,
those little cards.
Oh yeah,
they cost money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they also what they did say they were doing is if you buy the Switch version, they are throwing in the soundtrack for free, which is $10 by itself. So they are adding value to it, which is nice. And this kind of bummed me out because I would have.
Wait, the soundtrack for what?
For Rhyme.
Oh, okay.
Comes with the Switch version.
Yeah.
So they're giving you a $10 soundtrack with the Switch version to compensate for the extra $10 you're paying, which
Correct.
is fine. But, I really wanted to wait and play that on the Switch, but the fact that they don't even know at all or haven't said anything about when it's coming to the Switch, I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to play it on the PS4. I am going to hold out for Hollow Knight for as long as possible.
Hollow Knight soundtrack's pretty fucking good.
Yeah. I'm really, really, really looking forward to playing that. But yeah, that is my 4-player minute for the week. And I think with that, that's our show.
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening. 4playernetwork.com is the website. Please support us on Patreon if you can. It's patreon.com/4player. And like I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, please join us in Discord. It's discord.gg/4player.
Yep.
We'll be back next week with another episode. And I think I proposed this earlier. I think maybe the week after that will be our last show before we go off to LA for E3. I think we'll probably end up doing some kind of E3 predictions podcast. That could be fun.
Yep.
I think we usually do that anyways. So look for that. But yeah, thanks for listening. And we'll catch you guys later. Good night.
Goodbye.